All right, what's going on, everyone? How we doing tonight? It is 10:01 p.m. I'm a minute late. For that, I do very much apologize. Not, not my intention to be late, but it's just kind of how it went. And okay, that should be good. And we're doing this well. All right. Oops, let me refresh this real quick. I forgot to refresh this page. And pause that. Very much apologize. Not. Oops, shit. There we go. All right. We're good. How's it going? I should be live at this point. Carrot Kun, you turned 18 yesterday. Fantastic. Hope you had a good one, man. Or guy, girl. I don't quite know what you are or what you identify as, but I hope you had fun turning the 18. 18's a good age. I remember when I dropped the big 1-8. I drove like 30 miles to a casino just so I could gamble and buy cigarettes and stay out past midnight. And on my way home around 2 o'clock in the morning, I came across 2 police and I looked them dead in the eye and I was like daring them to pull me over to check my identification. They did not. I was kind of pissed off. Even the guy who I went to go buy a pack of cigarettes from did not, in fact, check my ID until I had to remind him that I was only 18. Or was I? And then I got him to check my ID. Apparently, when I go to places on dates, when I can go do something of a certain age, they never check my goddamn identification. This baby face apparently looks older. Maybe it's because of all the shit that I've seen. No, I don't know. Am I sure that I'm alive? I don't quite know. Ooh, we got a $10 super chat right off the bat from Nihilistic Nachos. I said in a recent video that Jazz Jennings is unable to have surgery, but the drama is just being hyped up for the show. There's also surgical options for trans youth. There would be, but she's been on hormones since she was 6. If that's I read a couple articles about that. So she's been on hormones since she was age 6. Her body never developed, went through puberty the right way. So unless that's been changed, that's how, as far as I know it. If that's been changed, please feel free to send me some corroborating information. I'd like to read it. mundanemat.com/submit. So, you turned 18 in 1985. I was 3. 1985. I don't know if you guys noticed, I got myself a nice haircut today. Looking a little bit better, a little less shaggy. Feeling a lot better. David Crimson, we just started this thing up, so it's got I actually got to quickly send out the social media buzz on this thing, so people know that there's a lot of crap going on, and get them in on the conversation. Got some stuff to talk about tonight. Got some good stories. Not as crazy as last night. Nothing with incest. Nothing with incest. And I think that, no incest. I think we're good. There hasn't really been a lot of crazy stories that I have, necessarily seen. So, okay. Let me just get this up. I was actually working. Okay, you're saying that there are surgical options for suppressed youth. Some are more effective than traditional method. What do you mean by suppressed? Do you mean like suppressed as in like people in the closet, or do you mean like people who are on hormones? I just would like some clarification on that one. So that's all. But I appreciate the super chats. All right. Cool beans, posting that out right now. So yeah, otherwise, not a great deal going on today. I am exhausted. I talked about it a little bit last night. My daughter had her 2-month checkup today at the hospital. At the doctor's office. So we had to go in and go and get her checked out. Go and get her for vaccinations and stuff. So I did not get more than like 3 hours of sleep. So I am definitely a little bit tired. So why is Viacom buying Vidcon? Well, we'll have to talk about that. That's definitely something. As punishment for my lateness, I have to facepalm at Brianna's stupidity. Wait, hold on, KS Sonic. I have to ask the question. What stupidity has happened now? Is it the whole Nolan Bushnell thing? Because that was pretty dumb. Oh, you're referring to puberty blockers. Well, hey, listen, I do hope she gets the opportunity to get that changeover. I do. I do. People who suppress puberty. Okay, thank you very much. I do wish her the best, to be honest with you. I always look at it like at that point, like I would not put my daughter on hormones if she was, if she felt like she was trans. I would be like, look, you can wear t-shirts and shorts and jeans and dress as a boy and whatever, or as an attack helicopter, whatever it is that you find yourself into, but not until you're of age to where you can make that choice yourself, having, done all this. I don't want to sit there and do that. I don't agree. The baby is doing fine. She is, feeling like a pincushion today. She's not too happy with the world, I should say. And but she's good. She'll probably keep me up late, but that's okay. Last night after we wrapped up the stream, I watched Cloverfield Paradox, which I thought was actually pretty decent, albeit a bit of kind of a wonky third act, but I still really enjoyed it. And the cool thing about having the kid is and doing the night shift is I can catch up on movies. So I'm pretty happy about that. Am I excited for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? Yeah, totally, man. I rewatched the trailer again today, and I really liked it. I think it's going to be good. I was sold on it anyway. I like Jurassic Park 3, so there we go. Press J if you light a blunt before going to work in the morning. Yeah. Justin, I did see the new Solo trailer. I did a video talking my thoughts about that over on $3 Theater. So you can check that over there. So, you guys just finished watching Paradox. I liked Paradox. I really want to, I was really hoping they were going to tie it into the first movie more. But now we're dealing with a Cloverfield. We're dealing with it again. And this time it's a full-grown one. So I'm waiting for people to deep dive into it. And then I can watch all those YouTube videos. And I've thought about doing YouTube videos where, going into that kind of stuff myself. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I just kind of, don't want to, I like the mystery. So it's those kind of videos aren't really what I want to make. But I like watching other people make those videos. Me and my vitamin vape. Yeah. Am I going to make a $3 Theater video about Big Mouth? I should review it. I really liked Big Mouth. I really did. I saw it when it came out back in September. Thoughts on the rumor saying Comcast wants to jump in with Disney and Fox? I did hear that rumor today very briefly. It makes sense. It makes sense because of net neutrality, right? It really does. Because Comcast, if they get in on the deal, Disney will then pay them money. They'll make money that way, or they'll be able to offer it as an exclusive with no throttling, or they'll be able to offer it at a lower rate because they're tied in with the company. It's a bad idea. Horrible idea. I do not like Comcast, yet Comcast provides my internet right now. Wait. Tyan, you watched 10 Cloverfield Lane and you didn't like it at all? You did not like 10 Cloverfield Lane at all? Really? Not at all? Even removing the end of the film, just the drama part of it, you don't like any of it? Man, I really, really like 10 Cloverfield Lane. Stupid housemate needs a free helicopter ride. No, Zero Depressive. I'm not judging you for lighting a joint in the morning. I'm merely puffing on my vitamin vape. Is there an explanation on why Marvel does well on the cinematic front but not the comic front? More people watch the movies. That's really what it boils down to. That's really what it boils down to. So okay. This is something I wanna talk about. Had this thought today. I'm gonna take a puff of my vape while I put on a metaphorical tinfoil hat, because this is something that I kind of want to get off my chest. I'm gonna do it here. I want you guys to pay attention. Tell me if I'm right, if I have it, if it's onto something, or if I'm completely freaking wrong. So, 2016 presidential election, right? We learned a lot after the victory of Donald J. Trump, and a lot of it had to do with the fact of Russian interference. Now, whether or not you believe that that Russia played a part in the election itself, I believe is irrelevant to the overall statement of Russia definitely having an impact on social media. The fact that they were manipulating Twitter and the fact that they were manipulating Facebook, and they were doing it through a multitude of different avenues. It wasn't just a conservative side. You know, you're finding out like they were running like pro Black Lives Matter groups, that they were trying to organize meetups through Black Lives Matter. You also find out that they were targeting specific districts, like specific cities, specific areas, like geo-targeting like crazy in order to run ads on people's Facebook, you know, kind of putting out the memes and the misinformation and disinformation that they very much wanted to convey. And I've been thinking a lot about that over the course of the past year, because I watch a lot of news, both you know, conservative as well as liberal. I watch a lot of MSNBC. I like Rachel Maddow, think of that what you will, but I also like Tucker Carlson. So I really like Shep Smith, even though he's like the only like kind of liberal on Fox that they just keep around in order to basically make it appear like they're fair and balanced. By the way, they no longer have that subtitle. They lost it because I don't think they can actually claim that. But anyway, I follow news from multiple sources, and you know, looking at the fact that 17 intelligence agencies said that there was interference from Russia, and a lot of it had to do with social media. Now, as a person who used to teach social media in Los Angeles, I was teaching it to actors and filmmakers and people in the entertainment industry. I understand a thing or two about how stuff is done, at least through an automated level. So I get how they were able to do stuff with these troll farms, and how they were able to put out these memes and target things, so on and so forth. Like, I mean, they probably figured out right around the time of day Donald Trump was going to tweet, right? You know, he wakes up and he heads over to the commode to crap out his Egg McMuffin from the day before, and he tweets while he's on the toilet, obviously, right? Or he's going back to bed or whatever. Again, no issue with that. Elderly men get up to pee in the middle of the night. It just makes sense. Just saying. So they figured out when, and they would put stuff out there when he would tweet stuff, and then that would draw a lot of attention. In fact, if you go on Twitter right now and you look at any Donald Trump tweets, you will see a very interesting thing. There are people, both conservative and liberal, that have notifications on for when he tweets, and they are active with a response. They are active with something. They fire back within seconds. It's very interesting how they do it. And I don't know if these people are real or if they're trolls. I know you can head over to dashboard.securingdemocracy.org, and you can go on there and you can look to see which hashtags are currently being pushed and trended out of Russian troll farms. Like, these are known Russian accounts. So we know that there is clearly things that are happening here. Okay, so here's essentially what I'm getting to, my tinfoil hat theory. If social media in terms of Twitter and Facebook were manipulated, could it also possibly be that YouTube was hit as well? Right? Now, I say this as a person who does this as a full-time job. I say this as a person who spends 90% of my time on YouTube and reads up on the algorithms and reads up on things and reads up on all this other kind of stuff with it. And I keep going back to this thought. And I haven't vocalized it yet, but I'm vocalizing it now because I'm just kind of want to put it out there. Now, again, I'm not suggesting or accusing or saying this is what happened, but if there was going to be a social media attack from Russia on YouTube, it would be so fucking easy. Like, way easier and way cheaper than anything else they could have done on Facebook, right? Like anything else, I'm serious. So the way that the algorithm works is essentially that what you have to do to get a video to go up in the rankings is deal a lot with the algorithm and engagement, comments, thumbs up, thumbs down even, right? And you can automate a lot of that. You go to, was it blackhatforum.com or something, and you can find tons of automated systems. For a while there was a whole bunch of stuff that dealt with like kind of like a sub for sub thing, but not even sub for sub. What you would do is you could go to this website, and I forget what it was called, but you get like seeds, basically points, and you acquire those points by following other accounts, and people would set how many seeds they want to give in order to get you to follow. And so what you do at that point is you go in there and you spend time and you build up these points. You create fake dummy accounts and follow other people's accounts. You artificially inflate these numbers. And then you can even do it for views and for likes and things like that on YouTube. You can automate this whole process. And so if you've got the manpower, you can, in fact, very much manipulate YouTube in order to push these things a little bit higher in the algorithm. At least you could back then. I do feel that the change that we're on right now in terms of the 4,000 hours watched over the span of a year and 1,000 subscribers is very much a way to combat something like this from happening, because you've heard a lot of people speculate as to why, right? They'll say, oh, well, this keeps those accounts that would go and pay someone to get 10,000 views to automate moderation. You would go and you would see, like that might be a reason. Well, I think also it's to keep a lot of these channels from trying to make money from pushing a lot of fake information. We're going to talk about a video tonight, or story tonight, that has quite a bit about YouTube dealing with this kind of propaganda pushback, which is what got me to think about this particular scenario. If you have YouTube at this point starting to monitor state-sponsored media and acknowledge that stuff is state-sponsored media on YouTube to showcase transparency with the user, is there a more, I guess you could say, nefarious reason as to why it's happening? And I would not be surprised at this point. And I just want, again, before I go forward, I'm saying I do not think this is true. I have no proof. This is just a random thought that I have that I'm espousing to you guys. But is it possible that we'll find out in the next year that YouTube, Google, was fully aware of this particular situation, that they were fully aware that this kind of manipulation was happening and they haven't been called out on it yet? And I don't know. I don't know if it is, but I've noticed there were a lot of conservative channels that before the presidential election in 2016 were doing okay. And then after the presidential election or leading up to it, they all of a sudden started to very much increase. I myself shot up a lot. And I was never pro-Trump. I was anti-Hillary, but I was never pro-Trump. And I shot up a lot of subscribers. And then as soon as I started criticizing Trump, I started losing a lot. So I don't know if that has any correlation. Well, I'm sure it does. But I noticed there was a big push in 2017 for some conservative channels to break the 1 million subscriber mark. Not to say that they haven't worked hard enough to get it. I'm not trying to discredit their work at all. But I'm wondering, I keep wondering in the back of my head, has there been some kind of manipulation? Because YouTube as a whole is ultimately not very hard to manipulate if you know what you're doing and you have the manpower. And in the meantime, I got nothing else to go on, but it's just a thought, just food for thought for what could be something that no one's thought of yet. Because they talk about Twitter, they talk about Facebook. YouTube is the second most visited website on the internet compared to Google, which is the #1. YouTube acts as a social media platform. Google Plus, for example. What's to say it wasn't hit? I mean, really. May not have as many users as Facebook, right? In terms of profiles, where I think there's now close to 2 billion profiles on Facebook. But YouTube still pulls in an insane amount of people. So if it's a lot of people and it's not hard to manipulate if you know what you're doing and you have the manpower, which these troll farms would, anything is possible. I'm saying it's a tinfoil hat theory. I got nothing to fully back it up, but I find it to be curious because no one's talked about it yet. So no one's talked about it. Okay, let's see. We did get a $1 Steam Labs donation here from. I'm trying to see like the name and see if it pops up in my email. But I want to say thank you very much to the person who did that. I think Goddard. So I mean, I'm just saying it's like no one's mentioned it. Congress hasn't mentioned it. The news hasn't mentioned it. No one's mentioned it. So yeah, Goddard, thank you very much for the $1 star. I very much appreciate that. Okay, you're not convinced that it's a Russian government thing. That's fine. But those troll farms exist. Our troll farms exist. Obviously, we've done a fair amount ourselves. So I just don't know. I have no idea. Be cool if we found that out. There is probable cause to think that Russians were direct agents. Are we getting to the news now, Sean? We'll be getting there very soon. Tracy, you say here that good point, but you still calling fear did more to drive numbers. That I don't disagree with you, but that again is also part of what like added in to the situation involving Facebook and Twitter for how the manipulation worked through social media. It was a lot of memes. A lot of memes that Republicans put out are very fear-mongery. I have a lot of conservative friends on Facebook, and they shared all of these memes that were like super like fear-mongery type stuff. You know, like there's always a big one too. The Democrats are coming to take your guns, that kind of thing. So what we don't need to rely on Russian bots for smashing that motherfucking like button. Damn straight. Oh, Mike Perez, we have the same frames. Cool, man. Where'd you get yours at? I got mine from Zenny Optical. Hey, what's going on, Ranting Monkey? How are you, buddy? So again, I don't know. My theory could be something. It could be nothing. Only time will tell. But I think it would be very interesting if we find out that Google was hit. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Think about it. You could buy ads, right? You know, we just found out that there was ads on YouTube that were running crypto miners in the background. You know, what's to say that these companies weren't purchasing ads? I mean, there's a few times I saw some political ads on YouTube, right? So, here's the thing, Curtis. Out of 8 years of Obama and 8 years of the fear-mongering that Obama's coming to take your guns, Obama never came to take your guns. That was just an NRA talking point, man. That shit never happened. Yeah, Zenny Optical is awesome. I wish they had better selection of sunglasses, though. That's the only thing. But I got these from them. I like them. So, Democrats sell more guns than Republicans. Yeah, they do. Because that's the fear-mongering that goes into it. So do I have a DTube? Goddard, I do actually. Yeah. DTube. I'm on there as Mundane Matt. I haven't posted as much. Everyone on DTube wants to like, everyone on DTube, I feel, that gets even remotely gets a bit of attention are people on there that are just like sucking, you know, like cryptocurrency's dick. And it's not a bad thing. Not at all. It's, I don't know like what kind of content like I could provide that would work out well with them. That's kind of where I'm at necessarily with this, is I look at some of the stuff and I'm just like, really? Like, I don't know. But I want to learn more about cryptocurrency to understand it, because I like to look into, do more research on what's coming, emerging coins, emerging currencies, to better have a good idea. But I have no idea where to start. So 1776 will commence again when they come to take your guns. They're not going to come to take the guns, though. That's that much like the Nunez memo, or just it's fake news essentially. So let's see. Bots compromising YouTube is an interesting thought. There's probably something to that, but then again, I think very little can be attributed to the Russians. I don't know. Mr. Shadow, I do post on Instagram. Not much though. Again, like I run a Facebook, I run a Twitter, I run a YouTube. Running an Instagram too, kind of is one of those weird things. So it's like so many fucking things to run. I don't have time. I simply don't have the time. I would love to have the time to do all that shit. Even though I work from home, I still don't have the time, it feels like. So there's definitely that, but I wish I had more time to go in and do everything, you know, like run 5-hour live streams would be fantastic. I don't have the energy for it. That is, unless I did like a twofer where I did like 1 hour of news for this channel, and then I flipped over, you know, I just moved over to like something, you know, like this, where I'd come over to the $3 theater layout, like, you know, switch over right away. It just would be kind of dumb. So I don't think it'll work out very well. All right, don't cover anything interesting for 10 minutes. We'll see what we can do. I promise nothing. Instagram's a bit more fast paced. Yeah, I probably need to go follow more people on there. A lot of stuff gets premiered through Instagram, like them doing movie trailers. They're premiering movie trailers now through Instagram. They're not doing it through Twitter anymore. Makes you, and I think marketers realize that Twitter is compromised for the most part. So I probably should post more on Instagram and stuff. I just don't know, like, I don't know what to post pictures of, like my kid. I don't want to like over post her on there. So, ironically, you as a former social media marketer needs a social media manager. That's true, man. There's a lot to cover. When I was teaching it, it was predominantly Facebook, Tumblr, LinkedIn, and Twitter were like the keys and everything else. I even wrote a book about it. I wrote a book. It's an old ass book, so it's so out of date and everything else. Let's see. Mr. Shadow, if you want to join the Discord, link below is in the video description. Could you watch your own YouTube stream streaming your stream? Pretty much. This one was free. My girlfriend's mom gave it to me. And then I just bought a 3-pack for like $45. I don't even know if it works. I just miss smoking. That's what it boils down to. It's been very stressful recently, so it helps keep me in check. Big brother, post my day to day. Yeah. My day to day is like, here I am playing PUBG in my underwear, freaking noon. I just fed my kid. She's asleep. PUBG time. It doesn't work out the best. So you paid for an app to hit multiple platforms. Richard Robertson, are you guys using Hootsuite? I've been a Hootsuite Pro member now, coming up on 7 years. Over 7 years I've been a Hootsuite Pro member. Hey, what's up, Dino4? Thanks for coming in. I'm glad you're up long enough to see this. I don't think I've heard of Harry Nilsson. So, yeah, one guy has to handle all social media. It becomes much. I like to automate a lot of stuff if I can. And oftentimes it requires like some kind of finagling of some kind. It gets really annoying. Yeah, I've been using Hootsuite Pro, but here's the thing. I've been using it so long, I still pay $6 a month for Hootsuite Pro. And I'm actually a graduate of Hootsuite University. I've taken their social media course and passed it. So yeah, I've done all that. So, okay, so Gamers for Gamers says here, I don't know why people just think politicians are stupid. They are purposefully doing it. It's the people that are dumb letting them get away with it. Yeah, that's probably a fair assessment, man. That's probably a pretty fair assessment. One of the things that that happens with that is they act dumb and people then think that they're dumb. But the thing is, politicians are important, right? We all may hate them to an extent, but they're important. And they're important because they do the things that we're not going to do. Right? I just wish we had term limits and better ways in order to manage it. So, what would I do if my child grew up to be an SJW? Have a long, serious heart-to-heart. And if we can't come to some kind of agreement, I would just take her out to the middle of the woods and then just let her out the leash. I'm so kidding. So no, we would have a conversation about it. Like my kid can believe whatever she wants to believe. She's her own person. She's an autonomous being. I want her to have that free will. I want her to have that freedom of choice. And if she can get it, then that's great. That's perfect. I'm totally fine with that. So let's, all right. Wow. We got 106 people watching. You're fantastic. Only 38 likes, 160 people. Come on, folks. I need you to smack on that like. If nothing else, imagine that you're slapping my face. Smash that like. Pretend you're slapping my face. If you hit that dislike button, it's like you're giving me a hand job. I don't think you want to touch my penis. So, those are your options. So, who is the weirdest politician in office? I'm gonna probably have to give it up to like Bernie as the weirdest politician, because like he is so just doing his own thing all the time, and everyone else plays the game. He doesn't play the game. He does a little bit. So, a couple people A couple people are hitting on that dislike button. Yeah? Yeah? You want to know that what you're thinking about right now? Thinking about touching my penis? It's a nice penis. I'm just saying. I'm a fan of what I was given by God. So... All right. I know this. The thing with this though is it doesn't suck out. It doesn't suck very hard. So you have to get any kind of situation. You have to really kind of suck very hard on that pen in order to do it. All right. Let me take a quick look here. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. I think that we've got the I did a test on Discord for chatting. So what we'll do is we'll go through the stories, and then we will open it up to the final like 20-30 minutes of taking calls from people. So I tried it last week. I tested everything out before the thing started, and I think we'll be able to get it to work. So if you want to jump on in and ask a question or just kind of talk about some stuff for a few minutes, Discord is below in the video description, and you can come in through a mobile device if you want. You can come in through your phone, whatever, your laptop, whatever. And then just go into the general chat room, and then I'm just going to pull people in at random. So be at your computer. If not, I will move you to an AFK board and then pull from someone else in. And so that's how we're going to do that. So somebody clipped that suck hard. Yeah, suck that pen hard. I know what I'm doing. I am clearly good at this. Oh, that's going to get freaking... That is going to get totally fucking put out there. Oh, okay. Okay, so... yeah. Let me just jump in the general... oh, shit. Okay. Voice chat. All right, we'll do that. So I see that RJ Bansma is the first one in there. So you will be the first person. We'll talk. Okay, so yeah. We'll go through this. Okay, let's see here. I want to make sure this is good. Okay. So let me go into the first story here. We're going to jump in. We've got a lot to get through. We've already been up for about 34 minutes. All right, where is this at? Yep, a little bit of YouTube drama up front. Some stuff worth talking about always here. So as YouTube continues to grow, and as we continue to see YouTubers break out from this medium into the larger spectrum of entertainment, as we saw with the KSI boxing match with that other pendejo, who I don't know because I don't follow those channels, but they had over 1 million people, over 1.5 million people watching them live, and the VOD streams of the boxing match have had over 20 million views total. So it goes to show you that there are people out there that can command large audiences and get the views at certain times, which kind of brings me to this story here, where you've got a YouTube star by the name of Kian Lawley, who stars on the show Haters on television. And this is just kind of give you an idea of the type of content he creates. Haters is a scripted meta comedy starring JC Calen and Kian Lawley and Jasmine Garcia, who play heightened versions of themselves, super famous and successful YouTube stars who, despite the fact that they seem to be living the dream, are insecure about their fame fading. JC and Kian also play their biggest haters, Zweeb and Frank, two mall-dwelling video game store employees who are obsessed with hating on and figuring out ways to take down these pretty golden boy social media heartthrobs that are just so hateable. So as you can tell, this person is starring in grade A quality entertainment that I do think is this on MTV? I think it's on MTV. It's one of those, it's probably a Viacom owned thing. Ultimately, it's pretty bad stuff. So he here has been axed from a movie that 20th Century Fox is producing after a video surfaced in which he used a racial slur. Now, it says here, due to the controversy surrounding his past comments and behavior, Kian Lawley will no longer appear in The Hate U Give, a spokesperson for 20th Century Fox said in a statement. The studio plans to recast the role of Chris and reshoot the scenes as needed. Now, if you're wondering, should you care? Oh, crap, I fucked up. Damn it. This is what happens. There we go. Okay, well, I'm going to go back to... I gotta fuck. All right, I start over again. Because I totally had the wrong window up. See, this is what happens when I do it live. Mistakes are made. Mistakes are made. Okay, so... I don't even know if I really like this story. That's the thing. It's, you know what? It's for views, pretty much. Yeah, who the fuck are these people exactly? Exactly. Okay, we're going to try this again. Snaps for traps. All right, I know. I am sorry. This is me screwing up. You guys get to see screw ups live. That should be part of the fun, right? If you guys like screw ups, go ahead and slap one below in the chat. And also super chat me to say you feel bad for me. No, I'm kidding. All right, snaps it up. Snaps or traps, guys. Now I'm embarrassed because I screwed up. Anyway, professional. As YouTube continues to grow as an entertainment medium, as we continue to see stars rise up through the rank and file of entertainment only to become like the top of their game. I mean, according to Susan Wojcicki, you had over 40 new YouTubers last year in 2017 crack the 6-figure salary mark. And I'm not going to lie, had the adpocalypse not happened, I probably would have ended up being one of those people. That is how good 2016 was. Why can't we go back to that? Oh, right. Because people like this guy right here technically ruin it for us. Now, I don't know who Kian Lawley is, and I ultimately don't care. But if the KSI boxing match from this weekend is any indication of how popular some of these people can get, considering that he boxed another YouTuber in a live stream event that had over 1.5 million people watching it, and the subsequent viewings on their particular YouTube channels equaled over 20 million replays, that goes to show you that there is some serious weight behind YouTubers in certain areas. But that also means that we're always having to be on the defense because we are never, ever looked at the same as people who have already been in the entertainment industry. Which brings me to this guy here, Kian Lawley. Fox has axed him from The Hate U Give over a racially offensive video. Now, if you don't know who this guy with what appears to be a bird neck tattoo is, Haters is a TV show he's on right now, where it's a scripted meta comedy starring JC Calen and Kian Lawley and Jasmine Garcia, who play heightened versions of themselves, super famous and successful YouTube stars who, despite the fact that they seem to be living the dream, are insecure about their fame fading. JC and Kian also play their two biggest haters, Zweeb and Frank, two mall-dwelling video game store employees who are obsessed with hating on and figuring out ways to take down these pretty golden boy social media heartthrobs who are just so hateable. This is the type of crap our children are watching. I really hate humanity sometimes. But the idea here is that this is the kind of crap this guy does, and he's popular for it. He's popular. People watch him all the time. So it says here, due to the controversy of this video in which he used the racial slur, and surrounding his past comments and behaviors, Kian Lawley will no longer appear in The Hate U Give, a spokesperson for 20th Century Fox said in a statement. The studio plans to recast the role of Chris and reshoot the scenes as needed. Now, the reason why they're doing this, and this is actually really interesting, is because if you go over to IMDb and you bring up the Hate U Give, you can take a look here at the synopsis of this movie that they're working on, where it's a teenage girl witnesses a police shooting and is forced to testify at the trial. So if you look here at the predominant cast is African American. So this film is probably about an African-American teenager who witnesses a police shooting and then is forced to testify at the trial, and probably all of the, well, pardon the wording here, but trials and tribulations that go along with it. This is one of those things that very much feels in line with them wanting to pull him from the movie, simply because, well, this is what he says. This bleeped out video posted on YouTube. He's seen using the N-word at least once and likely twice, along with some other not safe for work language. Just here, check this out.
That's why we're all black, drinking purple Kool-Aid, eating Kentucky Fried chicken.
I like that. Ricardo and Kean. What do y'all? Oh my god.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's some dumb stuff right there, right? That's some serious. Come on, like why would you do that? You know, the PewDiePie situation, the iDubbbz and Tana Mongrel situation. I don't know her last name, Mongoloid. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Social media celebrities, influencers going out there and dropping the N-bomb in like a stream or an Instagram video or a live stream or whatever is not the best when you're trying to work on something that is supposed to be progressive, like the hate you give. But it goes to show you that ultimately a lot of people that work in these fields are kind of like the world's largest hypocrites, to be honest. And so that's a lot of what it is. So it says here that the video was posted on January 26th, and the social media backlash was swift, with many posters demanding that he be fired from the hate you give. But he did have some supporters, including some who took out their anger on the hate you give creator Angie Thomas, who tweeted yesterday, I've been hurt severely, but please make me the bad guy. Please, calling out black women and attack us. You have no clue what I'm dealing with. Feel free to love your fave, but I know there's a ton of pain associated with this, more than you know. If I subtweet, I subtweet. I do on what I do what I want on my Twitter because, yep, I'm a grown woman. And then she says, in the last 2 weeks, have been hell for me, but I'm the enemy, y'all. I've been trying, you just don't know. And then Kean himself says, if you don't learn from your mistakes, you can never grow as a person. I've learned a lot, and I'm grateful to have the power to change. I never want to be who I was yesterday. We're in a constant battle to become a better version of ourselves. Use your voice as a weapon. So essentially trying to say, like, look, I made a mistake. Okay, but clearly I'm not the same person I was yesterday. I mean, like, this controversy only just happened, so I've only had, like, limited days to reflect upon my actions. But clearly I'm not as bad as Logan Paul, because Logan Paul had a body in a forest, but then he's back on YouTube a month later. That's kind of what I feel like it's the subtext of the tweet says. Now, the hate you give stars Amanda Steinberg as Star Carter, who constantly switches between two worlds, the poor, mostly black neighborhood where she lives, and the rich, mostly white prep school where she attends. The uneasy balance between these worlds is shattered when Star witnesses the fatal shooting of her childhood best friend, Khalil, at the hands of a police officer. Regina Hall, Russell Hornsby, Issa Rae, Sabrina Carpenter, Algie Smith, Lamar Johnson, and Common co-star. And Lawley plays Star's boyfriend, Chris. He was a late addition to the film, which shot in the fall in Atlanta. And so ultimately, he's going to, end up being recast. And it doesn't seem like he has that big of a role in the film to begin with. This is more about her personal journey. But I don't know, man. I think I understand people wanting to kick him out because he dropped the N-bomb. I get that. I get people wanting to be like, you need to fire him because he said it. If anything, and this is just from like kind of an objective standpoint, you take this moment and you use it as a teachable moment, right? Go, we're not going to fire him. But everyone in the cast is going to make sure that this guy ends up, having to deal with some kind of like, racial and sensitivity training sort of thing, or racial sensitivity training. What they could have done is, if they wanted to get this film a much higher profile, they could have played it off as a teachable moment to teach him the wrongs of saying that word. Although to many people out there, it's just a word, and the word only has the power of which you give. That is essentially how I view the word, but I still don't use it just because I don't really have much of a reason for it. So, I sing it in the occasional song, but who doesn't, right? Just saying, that's my truth. I don't know about your truth, but that's my truth. I can't sing Kanye's Gold Digger in public. But the point is I think they could have probably treated this as a better moment than firing the guy. But we live in an age right now and this isn't even anything that is like, you know, recent or unheard of, but we live in an age where if you make one mistake on social media, you are screwed. If you make one mistake on anything, you are screwed. Whether it's something like this or it's the Me Too movement, it doesn't matter if it's real, if it's fake. There is no chance for rehabilitation. There's no chance for understanding you've made a mistake and trying to learn from it. Like I brought up Logan Paul earlier because Logan Paul is kind of a prime example of this. His whole controversy from last month ended up going away after like about 2 weeks, and you figure he was going to be gone for a while, but then realized that he just bought a $6.3 million home, so he needs to continuously make money. So, hey, back to the grind he goes now with suicide prevention videos, because he wants to make sure that you know that he knows that you know that he's doing a good job trying to keep people from hanging themselves in a suicide forest. Like, essentially, that's the line they're going with, but it's not really a teachable thing. It's all show. This would have probably been all show too, but they could have used it, given the subject matter of the movie, to elevate it to new heights in order to start a larger conversation. Instead, they kowtowed, they fired the guy, and ultimately no one has learned anything. But then again, it's Hollywood, so they don't ever really walk the walk, they just talk the talk. Just saying, they do, man. They screw up all the time. All right, let me bring up the chat. All right. YouTube disturbs you with the shitty content by the left. You know, it is what it is, man. So every YouTube controversy in 2018 will either consciously or unconsciously carry "at least will not Logan Paul" under the same breath. Well, dude, it is hard to not have that when you are on day one and the controversy strikes. You know what I mean? He took it home. He took it home. He did a good job with making that his bitch. Obviously. I want to take a look here at the, okay, so there was a $5 super chat from Ranting Monkey saying, my screw-ups make him sad. What is your P.O. box? I will send you some Kleenex. So, no, it's all good. I screw up all the time, man. That was my bad, because I thought that it had carried over. It did not carry over. Do I think that the alt-right is gaining ground, or are they being overly vocal to give the illusion of strength? I think the alt-right are being overly vocal to give the illusion of strength, because I feel that they feel that it's going to do that. And I've noticed there's a fair amount of YouTubers on the commentary side that are kind of like playing footsie with the alt-right and doing it in a way that I think in their mind, they think it's going to benefit them in the long run. And it's not. It's not. The alt-right in its form that it is on YouTube is ultimately a fad. Very similar to the anti-SJW side of things. But there's people that are interested in it. And because they're interested in it, then you can find money in it. Right? Because anything has a price tag if someone's interested in it. And so if you know how to play it, then you can get to that point. You know, bringing on, having valid discussions about race realism is clearly not going to appeal to everybody, but there's enough there about the curious nature of it that's going to be taboo for some, and then cause them to go and seek it out. So, you know, I don't agree with the idea that something like the Warski Live is a recruitment tool for the alt-right. I did have a conversation with a guy I know, another YouTuber, that very much disagrees with me on that. And his point of disagreeing with me was basically saying that what you've got people who are like going to seek it out, not know what it is, not know that it's really shitty, and then, you know, hear these lively, jovial conversations and go, oh, that's really not so bad. And I think that there might be a couple people that would fall prey to that, but those people would fall prey to it regardless, you know? So it's not something that it's like going to be, you're not standing outside of a mall saying like, hey, have you heard of the, you know, the alt-right, your personal Lord and Savior? So, I'm just saying, I'm not, like, I don't agree with their arguments. I just don't see them as being threatening. How about that? Okay. So, there's Mr. Medicare's archives, not Jim, says, but there's heaps of scientific data to back up some aspects of race realism. Why write it off? Because I believe it boils down to a nature versus nurture situation. That's what I believe it boils down to. So I think on a nature versus nurture scenario, you can argue that someone who was born in an impoverished environment in a third world country, you know, with the right nurturing, could still achieve something. They may not achieve it at the same veracity as someone who has an Ivy League upbringing, but that doesn't mean that they don't have the ability to do it themselves. And I refuse to believe that we live in a world that writes people off as quickly as that. I refuse to believe that the people that who live in those countries that may not have access to the same level of education aren't inclined to be able to find it themselves and learn. I believe it boils down to a person-to-person basis, and there are people out there that are lazy that will just never do it because not so much that they're lazy, I don't want to say it like that, but that they are not inclined to seek that truth and that education and that knowledge and that learning and that enlightenment, and they stay where they are. And there are people here in the United States in our first world that do the exact same thing, but they are never treated in the same scenario. So I will never argue that is anything more than a nature versus nurture situation. There might be, you know, I've seen some of the studies that have been cited. I refuse to acknowledge that it is the be all end all of the discussion. So that's how I see it, you know. That's what I'm saying. It's just I just literally refuse because I just don't. I'm not the kind of person. But I appreciate the question. I understand what you're trying to say. You know, those conversations with those people are their conversations. No, not for me. Is Anita not going to VidCon? I don't know. I would assume she probably would. She has a financial tie to the whatever they're called, the Vlogbrothers. So it's, yeah, anyway, all right, let's jump into the next one here. All right, let me bring up my list. Oh yeah, this one is so stupid. This one here. As a fat person, I like Doritos. I can admit that here. This is a safe space. YouTube is a safe space. And at no point anything I say will never be used against me because it's a safe space. So as a rotund individual, I like Doritos. One of the things I like about Doritos is that they make a loud crunch when I bite into them. Corn chips with orange Cheeto dust on there or nacho flavor dust. Good stuff. Although I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty prone to Cool Ranch Doritos myself. They got me through some rough times in high school. But that being said, this story is one that I just do not. Oh my God. Look at this here. Doritos to make lady-friendly chips that don't crunch for women. This is where science is taking us. So bosses at Doritos have revealed that they are to launch a new lady-friendly version of the snack, which are quieter to eat and a lot less messy. As to say right now that women don't already eat Doritos and enjoy Doritos as they currently are, or that men may not want a less messy version of Doritos. Because let's face it, you open a bag, a small snack-sized bag of Doritos, right? And you eat one, you got a little bit of that dust on there, but you wipe it off because you're good. And you eat another one, and you keep wiping it off. And by the end of the bag, your fingers are covered. You know they're covered. I know they're covered. Your secret's safe with me, because this is a safe space. Food and drinks giant PepsiCo, which owns Doritos, has claimed research has found women do not like to crunch loudly or lick their fingers when eating in front of others. I read that as eating out first. Global Chief Exec Indra Nooyi told Freakonomics Radio that although women would love to crunch chips loudly, lick their fingers, and pour crumbs from the bag into their mouth afterward, they prefer not to do this in public. So instead of creating a whole new chip, in a whole new advertising campaign and a new bag in order to make this thing a reality. Why not just work on destigmifying this, right? Taking away the stigma of crunching on chips loudly in person. Why not sit there and develop a line of just crushed Dorito chips? It's just, that's it. That's the whole bag. It's like somebody just bludgeoned it with a hammer. They open it up and they pour it in their mouth. It just helps get over the fear of eating loudly as a woman. I mean, come on. I like to say in current year, I think we're a little bit better than that. But then again, this is PepsiCo, who last year tried to say that Kylie Jenner or Kendall Jenner or one of the Jenners could save the world by giving police a Pepsi and helping them find cohesion with protesters who were really upset that they couldn't play a cello in public. Now, it says here, you watch a lot of the young girls or young guys eat the chips and they love their Doritos and they lick their fingers with great glee. And they reach the bottom of the bag, they pour the little broken pieces into their mouth because they don't want to lose that taste of the flavor and the broken chips at the bottom. What? I mean, don't get me wrong. All of that is 100% true. Okay. I mean, like, I will sit there. I'm weird like this. I don't like my hands getting dirty. So if I'm going to have like some chips or something, I will oftentimes like take a fork and then I'm weird like that. But yeah, no, when I have in a bag of chips or whatever, I'll crush it, man. I'll crush it and I'll pour it in my mouth and everything else. And yeah, I don't care. No one else cares. I've watched my girlfriend do it. I've watched my sister do it. I've watched my mom do it. I've watched most of my female friends do it. Right? Like, it's just, is it that big of a deal? Apparently, they're trying to make it that over at PepsiCo. Now, it says here, women would love to do the same thing, but they don't. They don't like to crunch too loudly in public, and they don't lick their fingers. I don't know. I mean, I've been with, I'm not trying to go too personal here, but like, you know, I mean, I've some girls I've dated that have been like, hey, let me taste myself. So I'm just saying. Okay. I don't fully believe that statement, Pepsi Company. All right. Because the girls I'm talking about, they had no problem going like 2 knuckles deep back on their own mouth after they, Okay. So you don't need to put that unfair stigma on the ladies, because if they're willing to taste their own secretion, they're probably willing to lick their fingers to get your Dorito dust off their hands in public. Just saying. It's not a male and female thing as much as there are snacks for women that can be designed and packaged differently. And yes, we are looking at it and we are getting ready to launch a bunch of them soon. Okay. It sounds like it's kind of a sexist thing. It's not a male and female thing, but women are going to like a different packaging. The low crunch triangular snacks will come in special packs specifically designed to fit in the women's handbags. However, women's campaigners have slammed the unusual move as a tired gender stereotype. And here's the thing. I wholeheartedly agree that this is a tired gender stereotype. I do. I am very much on this women's campaigners. I'm going to assume that they are feminists. I'm very much on their side with this. Right? Because it's so stupid. It does feel like a tired gendered stereotype. Who cares? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Damn. But a spokeswoman I love this here, but a spokesman, not a spokeswoman, for the Women's Equality Party said, companies that perpetuate these tired gender stereotypes will continue to lose out on the single biggest consumer group, women. Probably. Or it could be a hit because you know women are going to buy it. Okay. You know they're going to do it. Men probably wouldn't. We like things. We like our traditions. You know, we like our things to say the same. Women always like things that are new. So it's, you can sit there and argue that they're not going to like the tired gender stereotype. At the same time, I'm telling you, they probably will. Now, I agree with this statement that it's stupid, but let's face it. Come on. How many women do you know that have like 4 pairs of shoes that are the same design, just multicolored to fit the occasion? That's not a knock at women. Okay. I've got Star Wars shirts for every occasion, so I get it. I'm there with you, but come on. People out there that have their kinks. No doubt some male consumers will welcome the change to have a bigger package, but the idea of shrinking products for women, no doubt for the same price, is as old as the ad men making these decisions, and probably true. But at the same time, if it is a more realistic representation of what we're going to get, I'm actually more on board with that. One of the things I hate is when I go to the store and I see like the big hulking bags of nacho cheese Doritos. I'm like, yeah, daddy gonna get my fat on. And then I open it up and it's like just over. It's like 55% of the bag is Dorito and the rest is all air. Right? If you were to suck all that air out, it would be smaller, but you would then know precisely what you're getting. And I think just as a consumer, that to me feels like something that's for the best. However, conservative MP and celebrity Big Brother runner-up Anne Vidcon, whatever, has cautiously welcomed the move, saying here, I never lick my fingers in public or in private, as I think it's a ghastly habit. She totally does. She totally double-clicks her mouse and then goes like, Saucy. You know that. When you sit there and you say that it's ghastly, I mean, I know she's British, so it just kind of feels like it's par for the course at the lexicon. But at the same time, you're looking at it going like, yeah, you do it. You do it. You do it. She says here, I think the idea of crisps or chips for women is a bit daft. Although I do think women are generally a bit fussier than men about these things. I am a cruncher, but I am fussy about where I crunch. Bully for them Doritos, they've introduced polite chips. My British is horrible. I admit that. But that being said, she's a cruncher, but she likes to do it in private. So, just saying. I'm just saying. You know, so Doritos lady-friendly chips feel like to me like they're just going to be like soft pita. You know what I mean? Like you can get like, they have like hard pita chips, but you can get like soft pita squares. This is going to be like that. Just call it what it is. It's pita. You know? But I don't think it's going to sell very well because like how would you lessen? The only way to lessen the crunch is to make them softer. That's it. That's it. You make them softer. Or you make them small enough, like freaking Cheez-Its, that you can put one in your mouth at a time, let your saliva dissolve it, and then munch on it without anyone else hearing. Now, when I go to the movies and I happen to sneak in a bag of chips or something along like that, I don't want to make, I don't want to eke people out with me crunching loudly because it is something that bothers me as well. So I will, in fact, one at a time, let it dissolve, crunch it silently, enjoy my meal, and go on with what I'm watching. So in the meantime, Pepsi Company, this is a dumb idea. And I think we're all worse off for you having done it because it really is just, I hate to say it. I will end the video with this. I hate that I agree with the feminists here. That's on you, Doritos. That's on you. Oh, man. I have to ask how bad were my jokes in that one, right? A lot of sexualized humor. YouTube is set to very much demonetize because that's what's going to happen. Oh man, that's pretty funny. I didn't think I was going to go as sexual in that story, and it worked. I'll take it. All right, cool. We're rocking 191 people in here. We have 27 more likes to get until we hit 100. Let's hit 100, guys. Smash on that like. Smash that like. Remember, dislikes are essentially giving me a hand job. So if you don't want to give me a hand job, hit that like button. Movie still nachos. Yeah, Alistair, I end up doing that when I see. Yeah, if I get nachos at a movie, I'll scoop it. I'll put it in, close my mouth entirely, let it kind of dissolve, and chew it up that way. So ladies just don't like the phallic symbolism of licking their fingers. Ranting Monkey, I didn't say that, but I have done that. So I worked at theaters for a long time. Stuff happens from time to time. So I missed one with the men like big packages. Yeah, I know, man. I know. There's, I can't get everything. I try. I do. I try, but sometimes I make a mistake. Sometimes I fuck up. So, there's that. Oh, I just happened to see that the kid from what's it called? The Justin Timberlake kid from the Super Bowl last night. Apparently he just got verified on Twitter. You know, son of a bitch, right? He's a Ken Bone looking like motherfucker. God damn it. Nah, good on the kid. Good on the kid. All right. Let's, okay. Jump into this one here. All right. So let's just kind of barrel through the last couple here. I'll have a lot of fun. Also, there was a $5 super chat from Australia from the Mr. Mediker archives saying, thank you for the thoughtful answer. You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much for coming on board and just hanging out. I appreciate it. So remember 3D Doritos? Yeah, I remember 3D Doritos, man. There's a reason why I'm fat, goddammit. Smash that like. You got to kind of smash that like. Oh, 14 to go, man. 14 to go. Just to get it to 114. Got to do it. Got to do it. Okay, let's see this here. All right, so. Snaps or traps, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube is having a hell of a 2018. Now, if you caught the first part of my live stream, I did talk a little bit about a weird theory that I had about possible Russian interference and influence on YouTube during the 2016 presidential election. And that is an interesting statement to make, and it's not one that I have any evidence for, but when I come across a story like this, I find it to be interesting that YouTube announces plan to combat propaganda. Propaganda on YouTube is freaking everywhere. I mean, if we're being realistic, and I mean truly realistic here, propaganda is everywhere in your home. You can't even leave your home without seeing 3 pieces of propaganda. You can't. So it's like it's everywhere, you know, and we all acknowledge it that it's there, but we don't always quite maybe acknowledge everything is what it is. Some stuff is very innocuous and some stuff is harder to call out than others. So this is what YouTube is up to. Saying here that YouTube announced Friday that they will start flagging videos published by organizations that receive government funding. Viewers will be able to see the labels on videos from government-funded outlets above the video's title on each page. And I'm actually okay with that. I am. I do think that they need to have a serious set guideline for what is considered state-sponsored. And I think they need to have like a tiered level of that, like what is 100% state sponsored, what is like partially sponsored, what is like, you know, maybe a little bit state sponsored, but ultimately viewer sponsored. I do feel like there should be tiers that would then, instead of having just like one specific banner for it, because that could be confusing, because not everything is like, not one thing is like the other, right? So it says that news is an important and growing vertical for us, so we want to be sure to get it right, helping to grow news and support news publishers on YouTube in a responsible way. This is coming from YouTube News Senior Product Manager Jeff Samick. Well, Jeff, I appreciate your thoughts on that one. As a person who, I think you could say probably for lack of a better term, is alternative media. It is a term I think best applies to what I do. Also being a commentator. You know, people have come to me and said that I am a news source that they like, but I am not state sponsored. I am mostly fan funded because my fans are awesome. And you guys suck when it comes to ads, man. Damn, get your shit fixed, Jeff. Anyway, I digress. Saying this notice on publishers receiving public or government funding, though still in its early stages, not only carries forward our work with this area through 2017, but represents one of the many more steps we will take throughout 2018 to improve how we deliver news content on YouTube. Now, this move comes after online tech companies such as Facebook and Twitter received backlash on Capitol Hill for their handling of Russian propaganda in the 2016 presidential election. Now, as I said at the beginning, I had a theory that it's possible that Russia interfered. To quickly recap that, it's not hard to manipulate YouTube and the algorithm if you have a manpower. You don't really have to spend any money. Facebook, you got to spend money for ads or for targeted ads or for pushing posts through fan pages, so on and so forth. And Twitter, you can do through sponsored content or just knowing the right times to get on there to target stuff. And you can. With YouTube is totally different. If you play the algorithm game correctly, and believe me, there are like tons of resources on YouTube for how to game the algorithm in a way that YouTube wants you to. If you play YouTube's game, you can actually go pretty far. And if Russia was involved in this in any way, this feels to me like YouTube is attempting to kind of like bypass the accusations that could be and probably should be levied at them. and saying like, what are you talking about? We acknowledge that this is state funded. We know this is propaganda. We did nothing wrong. YouTube didn't do nothing. YouTube is a good boy. No one believes that at this point. Social media giants have been criticized by lawmakers for not revealing the extent of Russian activity on their platform meant to influence the election. Despite YouTube's efforts to combat the negative use of state media, U.S. broadcaster PBS has lashed out at the move, saying labeling PBS as a publicly funded broadcaster is both vague and misleading, a PBS spokesman said in a statement to the Washington Post, saying here that PBS and its member stations receive a small percentage of funding from the federal government. The majority of funding comes from private donations. More importantly, PBS is an independent, private, not-for-profit corporation, not a state broadcaster. YouTube's proposed labeling could wrongly imply that the government has influence over PBS content, which is perhaps prohibited by statute. If YouTube's intent is to create clarity and better understanding, this is a step in the wrong direction. And I guess maybe when it comes to, I guess you could say when it comes to PBS, they have a point. If it only gets a small portion of its funding from the government, you know, does it deserve the label of this is either fully or partially sponsored or funded by the government? I mean, the thing is, objectively, it's a true statement, right? But subjectively, it's, you know, not all it's cracked up to be. And again, looking at something like, let's say, for example, RT, so Russia Today. Russia Today is 100% state sponsored. So having that and the thing is, it's known that it's 100% state sponsored. So having that a tiered system, right, would be something that would be beneficial to YouTube accomplishing its goal for trying to combat this type of, you could say, propaganda or influence on the platform. And the thing is, though, is YouTube, and I love this, they're not acknowledging where they've made mistakes. And this is one of those things that's absolutely going to keep them from acknowledging that they've made mistakes. Saying here, YouTube announces to plan to combat propaganda. All right. Yeah. Okay, cool. All well and good. You want to combat propaganda. And part of that propaganda, by the way, is not just like state sponsored stuff. They're also trying to crack down on a lot of alternative news sources and kind of commentary stuff. And this has a lot to do with the Las Vegas shooting, where there was a video that talked about a potential second shooter that went up the night of the shooting when a lot of people were scrambling to cover it and a lot of people were scrambling even more to get information. And that video, using the algorithm having been played correctly, shot up to 2 million views, which was then treated as an objective truth because so many people saw it. And when that happened, even the guy who made that video was like, the video probably should not have done this much. I probably should not have had that crap, right? Ultimately, there's that. And that's something they're fighting back on. So what they're doing now is, I don't know, I think, while I see where they're coming from, and I think they definitely need to revise how they do it, because it's not hard to tell what is fully sponsored, what's partially sponsored, so on and so forth. They need to have that available. But at the same time, I understand the concern, because if they start mislabeling state-sponsored news, then that puts a bit of a shadow, a propaganda shadow on the organizations that aren't. And if they're already making their way to attack the big guys, then what are they going to do for the little guys down the road when you know they've kind of run out of these targets and they're trying to weed their way out? Because as I talked about a couple of days ago, YouTube is also going to be giving, I guess you could say, preferential treatment to broadcasters that are basically verified as being factual. So your MSNBC, your Fox, your CBS, your NBC News, those outlets are going to be treated as more verified and more truthful than the people like me who ultimately speak, I guess you could say, truth to power would be a good way to describe it, where we kind of call out the media on their BS. It does feel, ultimately with stuff like this, it does feel to an extent that our days on this platform are numbered. And that saddens me, because I really love what I do. You know, I love being able to do this every day. I love that this is my career. I love that I was able to, you know, have a stream with a couple hundred people watching and record as I talk about what's going on. I like that. I love it. I love it. I love what I do. And it feels crappy that, like, we're kind of being lumped in to this type of negative approach from a company that ultimately doesn't care about the news, right? They don't care about the news. What they care about is just maintaining their image, maintaining some kind of sense of control of it all, some kind of idea that Susan Wojcicki and the powers that be know what the hell is going on, that they've got it all locked down. They ultimately don't. They truly, truly don't. And as a result of that, we're all going to pay this price. And it's just, the more I read about it, the more kind of depressing it gets, and I try not to let it impact me, but it does. All I can say is, I hope it gets situated. I hope it gets sorted out, and I hope we don't all get screwed, but, it kind of feels like the walls are closing in, and it's going to be trickle down, you know? So let's see. And this, I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm not trying to be, you know, oh, woe is me type stuff, but I am kind of curious if I'll be able to survive 2018. That will be the true test, I think. So wish me luck. No, seriously, it's getting kind of crazy. It's getting kind of crazy. So will I end up on a watch list? Maybe. Hold on, let me see what did Randy Monkey do? Anyone know how to get the Russians to sponsor you? Yeah, not hard, Ranting Monkey. Just be all like, Hillary Clinton is the devil. Donald Trump didn't do nothing. No, I don't know. I don't know, man. I do not know. I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna bust through. Hold on, let me just. Goddamn. I'm using Milo's website. I should not use Milo's website. Okay. I'm like... Okay. All right. Oh, Doritos has already denied, backpedaled on making their soft women Doritos. Okay. Oh, send me... okay, yeah. Let me take a look at that real quick. I'll do a follow-up. I'm on Doritos right here. Okay. Oh, what? Okay, hold on. Okay, fuck. All right, damn it. Hold on, I gotta, okay. Thanks for letting me know, man. We'll bring it up. Because I was watching Jimmy Kimmel tonight, and before jumping on, he talked about it right then, so I thought it was okay. All right, good to know. Okay, we're just gonna go through this here because I'm just gonna do the whole thing. So this is an extra video. So one of the things trending on Twitter right now is hashtag Lady Doritos. It's been a story running around all day. I know, because earlier on in this live stream, I totally covered it for like a solid 10 minutes. Only to discover here by one of my moderators and frequent viewers that Doritos has denied the existence of Lady Doritos, which is unfortunate because I feel I had a lot of solid jokes in that video. I feel like I had a lot of solid jokes about masturbation. So unfortunately not happening now. Thanks, Doritos. You killed my humor for the night. But it says here that no, PepsiCo is not developing Ladies Doritos. Speculation about a gender-specific version of the mainstream snack brand spread after PepsiCo CEO Indra Nooyi on a recent episode of Freakonomics podcast said that the company was considering launching snacks specifically designed for women. She just says here, we are looking at it and we're getting ready to launch a bunch of them soon. Well, I guess it must have been taken out of context because it goes on to say she never specifically stated that Doritos for women were coming, but news reports on the interview soon began carrying the headlines of Lady Doritos, and predictably the story took a life of its own on social media, compelling PepsiCo to shoot down the rumor. And I guess the question boils here, or boils down to here, was it really a rumor, or was it legit? Was it real? And they saw the backlash, like the laughing stock they had become at this, and they ultimately decided to back off because they were like, ooh, this is not going to be good for us. You know, soft Dorito chips in a smaller package to fit in women's purses. It sounds like something you would actually see. It does. This tired, gendered, you know, advertising. It's something you would actually see. And so that's, I think, why people bought onto it so much, which is why I actually have to come out and say I do think that it was real and that this is them essentially backpedaling. Now, the reporting on a specific Doritos product for female consumers is inaccurate, the spokeswoman stated in an emailed Monday evening. She said, "We've already have Doritos for women. They're called Doritos, and they're enjoyed by millions of people every day. At the same time, we know the needs and preferences continue to evolve, and we're always looking for new ways to engage and delight our consumers." That's true. I mean, I still, but come on, man. All the jokes about the women don't like to crunch loudly in public. And I thought, okay, the reason why, again, why I feel like that particular statement, why that particular passage was so legitimate in that regard, was because it comes across as like women don't want to crunch loudly in public or lick their fingers in public because of the patriarchy. Like, I just was expecting that shoe to drop. And I don't think I'm the only one, because we hear this constantly, day in, day out, all the time. We hear about this kind of stuff. So it's like them saying it, they were like heavily implying it, right? And then you get like the women's groups coming in and they're just like, this is tired gendered programming. This is tired gender stereotyping, right? And you're like, oh, this is going to be a battle. Feminists v Doritos. Who will win the Twitter war? And I'm sitting there getting my goddamn fucking popcorn ready, going like, man, I want in on this action. This is what I live for. Feminist civil wars. They crack me up. But no, Doritos, you had to screw me by saying it's not real. However, Nuyi did the interview. In the interview, did express that regular Doritos might be too messy for women, a view that drew plenty of backlash online. It's like not like a Carl's Jr. ad with Paris Hilton here. If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face. You know, you don't really want to associate that with Paris Hilton if you've ever seen One Night in Paris, because she's technically the person eating the burger in that particular video. It says, when you eat out of a flex bag, one of our single serve bags, especially as you watch a lot of young guys eat the chips, they love their Doritos, they lick their fingers with great glee, and when they reach the bottom of the bag, they pour the little broken pieces in their mouth because they don't want to lose that taste of the flavor in the broken chips in the bottom, she says in the interview, according to a transcript. Women who would love to do the same thing, but they don't. They don't like to crunch too loudly in public, and they don't lick their fingers generously, and they don't like to pour the little broken pieces of flavor in their mouth. No, if you want them to do that and swallow, you got to give them like at least 4 vodka tonics. I'm just saying. But ultimately, that does come across as something you would hear feminists say, and then basically follow that lineup with, "'cause the patriarchy." Right? And then, of course, here comes Big Red out of nowhere, like, the patriarchy, bow, 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 bow. Right? Like, pulling out of protest signs, calling everyone fuckfaces and stuff. Like, this is kind of what you feel from this sort of thing. Now, it says below here some of the feedback from when Ladies Dorito took off on Twitter, saying here, "Good news, ladies. We got a cool female Sanders and Doritos that don't crunch. So feminism is canceled. We've achieved equality." I have to say that was a pretty well thought out tweet. Sammy Nichols here saying, "Women, give us equal pay. Stop harassing us. Stop literally threatening our lives. Brands, how about quiet Doritos for women? Women, no, that's brands. Snacks you can fit in your purse. What? No. A pen that's comfy for your lady hands." And of course, SE Cup talked about this from HLN, because this was going around, man. My generation marched so future generations of women could enjoy Lady Doritos. You know, I mean, people were mocking this like crazy. Right. And of course, I get it. Pepsi came out and said on their official Twitter that this is not real. This isn't a thing. I think that it was. I think that the comments here about eating it, don't want to lick their fingers, women don't want to lick their fingers in public, yada, 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 is very much a thing of the CEO of the company. And I think her idea was to find a way to make this a thing. But ultimately, when the spokesperson comes out and says that we have Doritos for women, They're just called Doritos. That is actually the best possible response the company can give, because this way it doesn't try to like, oh, we already have Doritos for women. They're called Salsa Verde or something like that. You know, they made a good statement in order to deflect from what is something that they claim to be taken out of context. I don't think it was taken out of context. I really don't. I really don't. I just feel they realized that the backlash was just too much, and to save face, they said, we're scrapping the plans. So, and that's honestly for the best. It really is for the best, because as funny as the idea would be, soft chips that don't crunch in a smaller bag meant for purses, it kind of comes across like gummy Doritos, or as I said before, pita Doritos. Funny in idea, but not one that is for the company brand. So I guess good on Doritos for realizing the mistake that they made and catching it so quick. Hopefully people will pick up on this tomorrow, but I think this joke's going to last for a couple more days. Okay, Jesus Christ. Doritos and sex have two things in common: loud and messy. Oh man, what should I do with that other? What should I do with the other video? Should I just like leave it be and not post it? I mean, I feel like I should do something with it, right? So, but no, Jack, thank you very much for getting that off to me. I really appreciate that, man. I'm kind of pissed because I thought the story was funny. I thought it was funny. I thought it was good. I'm just saying, man. man, damn it, kind of pissed. I kind of pissed off because I feel like I was taken. All right, let's do this. We'll do this last one. Oh no, I have to do the 1-2 on VidCon. Okay, let's get through these last two, and then we're gonna jump in to the phone calls. I'm gonna breeze through these damn things, so just hold on to your butts. It's just gonna be one after the other, no stop in between. Over the course of the past couple of years, I feel like anything a person says in their present life or their past life, or hell, even their future life, will be used against them. Not in a court of law, but like a kangaroo court of people who are idiots that like to overreact to particular comments. Now, look, free speech is something that I very much champion. And if you aren't using your free speech to call for the death or violence of others or the destruction of private property, I don't quite care what you have to say. It's your belief, your thought, your voice, your truth. And that's something that we all have the right to in this country. However, if you are a conservative and you're a video game developer, you may never want to tell anyone because your days could in fact be numbered. Now, it says here that Subnautica developer and sound designer Simon Chylinski became the target of a social justice-driven hate mob on Twitter after he shared tweets by conservative journalist Paul Joseph Watson. I don't know if I would call Paul Joseph Watson a journalist. I would pretty much equate him and I on the same level in terms of effectiveness. Although he is way more aimed at propaganda. I just like to tell dick jokes. Now, Chylinski was subsequently fired by his employer at Unknown Worlds following a sustained campaign over the weekend by social justice activists on both Twitter and the Reset Era gaming forums, who called on the developer and publisher to act against him. Now, if you don't remember what the Reset Era of gaming forums are, a few months ago it turned out that Tyler Malta, who was the owner of NeoGAF, the largest progressive gaming forum on the web. By the way, they're full of bigots and racists in there too, but they're fine as long as they're part of the echo chamber. Came out that Tyler had maybe got himself in a little bit of trouble in terms of like some sexual harassment type stuff. So overnight, essentially, NeoGAF tanked. Oh, it tanked. So the guy who could never get into E3, even when he had the hottest gaming platform, forum on the web with like millions and millions of monthly viewers, has now permanently never been able to get into E3. So, you suck, Tyler. But they all went over to this new place, this Reset Era, and trust me, it is like the Mos Eisley of SJW nonsense. It is the hive of scum and villainy. This is horrible, horrible stuff there. And all they want to do is basically witch hunt. All right, these are like the stormtroopers for the Me Too movement is the best way I can describe them. Now, Subnautica is an underwater survival game filled with eerie noises and a haunting soundtrack, for which Chylinski is responsible. Over the weekend, the outraged crowd discovered an old set of tweets by game director Charlie Cleveland, who set up a poll in 2016 asking players if they prefer if Subnautica added the option to play as female or improve the core game. Dumb question to ask, to be fair. That's a really dumb question to ask. I mean, probably more done tongue-in-cheek, but at the same time, I mean, 2016, you're still 4 years into the Anita Sarkeesian era. Even though her relevance at the time is pretty much dead, do you really want to risk invoking the ire of the SJW in the gaming industry, especially the indie side of things? No. No, you don't. As evidenced here. Now, implementing a female character into the game would require an immense amount of work, including model rigging, animations, outfits, voice acting, and changing both the storyline and the core gameplay. Naturally, most of Subnautica's player base voted to improve the core gameplay. Now, following a barrage of complaints, Cleveland deleted the post, prompting Chylinski to joke that developers needed to diversify sliders and options to make the character progressively darker-skinned, more feminine, or less attractive. Which is, could go over well. Maybe. The resurfacing of Cleveland's poll prompted the same outrage mongers to pursue Chylinski's other tweets, discovering that he had retweeted Paul Joseph Watson about the Swedish Prime Minister's plan to deploy the military in its Islamic no-go zones, which the Swedish mainstream media attempts to downplay. Keep in mind that this is Milo Yiannopoulos' website, so anything involving Swedish military and no-go zones in Islam is going to basically be treated like it is in fact the devil. Whether or not it is, I don't know, I'm not from Sweden. Chylinski, who is from Poland, sent Sweden his condolences, writing, "People aren't blank slates that can be reprogrammed simply by being new to a country. Importing random people from the third world is also importing third world tier crime rates and IQ." Ooh, that feels like it's a kind of borderline race realism there. Not coming out and saying it, but getting kind of close. If you start looking like, oh, third world IQ, come on, dude. Like, I think I get what you're saying there, but at the same time, you could have chosen your words a little bit better. But then again, this could be the whole translation issue here. If he's Polish, he could have said something entirely different, and then just the way that we translated it didn't work out very well. Now, in another instance picked apart by social justice warriors, Chylinski responded to noted Canadian behavioral scientist Gad Sad's tweet about YouTube's gender identification poll. Helicopter, the attack kind, showed Chylinski playing on the common joke about identifying as an attack helicopter, which is often written in response to Tumblr's claims that there are more than two genders. It is one of my favorite memes, I'm not going to lie. This tweet, along with his retweet of Paul Joseph Watson, were seen as transphobic and racist and ultimately became the main subject of the complaints to the employer. Oh, wow. Okay. This is what we're dealing with here. Two people who sparked the hate mob were Queer Queenie and Dijon de Jour were successful. Chylinski, who was working on full-time on an expansion pack for Subnautica when the complaint surfaced over the weekend, confirmed to Dangerous that he was fired today. And that, come on, man, really? Again, it's like earlier I talked about that dude who dropped the N-bomb on the thing. He was fired from the movie he's going to be in. Why not use it as a teachable moment to talk to people about their problems, about their beliefs, like to have that discussion? It's just, you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar, goddammit. Now, Chylinski says that his employer terminated his position because of the Twitter hate mob and not for any other reason. He says that following the uproar on Reset Era and Twitter, two of his superiors pulled him aside and asked if he stood for what he wrote on Twitter. He says, "I said that I honestly didn't see anything wrong with it. I don't feel like I need to pretend not to know anything about statistics and political realities." Chylinski says that the issue his superiors took issue with was mostly, strangely enough, his tweet about identifying as an attack helicopter. This. Oh my God. That is funny. That is really funny. They began asking me how I would react if they hired a Muslim or a trans person. I said I'd debate them like anyone else on the team if I disagreed with them. They said that this would create an unwelcoming working environment and that they see it as a problem that almost only white men are working there and they need more diversity and that what I said would make it difficult to achieve. It's like diversity, and has it just gotten to the point now where diversity is just affirmative action, right? Like I feel like it just completely takes away from a meritocracy right? From being the best person for the job. That's how you get the job. Unfortunately, this is the world we live in. Now, the sound designer was quick to defend his former employers to Dangerous, saying, "These guys are not bad people. I don't want to paint them that way. They're very talented, and on a personal level, they're very nice to be around." And while that could be, I'm sure that's very true, you have to understand, too, that these guys are, again, they're hit with a huge, huge push online from these people, from these SJWs, from these regressives that want blood. And they won't stop until they get it. And that is kind of, I think, the position that these guys find themselves in. And I understand their actions. I don't appreciate it. I don't acknowledge, I don't respect it. But I understand where they're coming from. On Kotaku, game director Charlie Cleveland wrote, "Over the weekend, we discovered that one of our team members had made many hateful statements online that are against our company values. After discussing the matter with him, we decided to stop working with him immediately." That feels like they really kind of oversimplified the situation. "We discovered that he had said hateful things on the internet, like I identify as an attack helicopter." Huh? Right? Like, what? That's the big one. You got a problem with that? Like, I mean, I understand that attack helicopters have killed many people, but they're like pit bulls. It's nature versus nurture. What the hell, man? Now, Chylinski says that he believes that they simply didn't know how to react to the Twitter mob, so they fired him, but he understands their decision, saying, "I think I should have the freedom to express myself without being fired," adding that he thought that the company would only distance itself from his opinions and reprimand him privately instead of making a public spectacle of his termination. This is the thing, though, is you can't. You can't get away from the spectacle. All right, because it's and not to kind of the best way to describe it, ultimately, it's kind of like it's persecution, right? They don't want to be persecuted, so they come out. This is they're going to turn on their people that they know in order to make sure that they don't get blamed themselves. Because if they would have defended him, then they would just get hit with, well, all you have are white people who work there, and everyone there is a racist. And Poland recently had that situation about like the white nationalists in Poland or something, or the nationalists in Poland, predominantly white anyway. So that could have been used against them. I mean, I understand the boss's situation. I understand their predicament. I don't agree with it. I don't think what this guy said was like, oh, round up all the freaking Syrians and throw them back to their country or nothing. He just, has his opinion. And now we're in an age where your opinion, and it's not even in the United States, which means it's spread, which is sad. Even though most of these people came from the United States and probably aren't going to buy the game anyway. Doesn't matter. You piss off the wrong people, your livelihood is over with. Welcome to 2018. We're all screwed. Oh, queer queenies already are complaining about Ian Miles Chong. The thing is, Tracy, I don't know. This is in Poland. I don't know if they have wrongful termination suits in Poland. I don't know. All right, let's get into that last one here. Breeze through this motherfucker, and then I can get into the to the calls. At the same time, too, what I might do is I might take some of your questions. Again, super chats always get kind of preferential treatment, so that is something to consider. Let me quickly check here as we jump into this last one. Where are we at on the likes right now? I just want to see. Are we at 96? Come on, 96, guys. 96 likes. Get it to 100. Smack it to 100. Yeah. That's what daddy is. What daddy likes. So there's definitely all that kind of crap. All right. Okay, last one here. I know. I feel like we've gone into a lot of stories tonight, and sucks that the Dorito one got screwed up. But I appreciate it. All right. Let's do it, man. Let's do this. Wait, where's this at? Okay. Snaps or traps? Snaps or traps, guys? Going to Vidcon last year was one of my favorite experiences of the year. That and the birth of my daughter were just my two favorite moments of the year. And VidCon is something I am anxious to get back to because I love spending 5 days with my fellow YouTube content creators and people that I'd never met before, people that I've been watching for years, all of us getting together, all of us having fun, all of us getting drunk, really drunk, many nights in a row. Great time. But the biggest problem at VidCon was VidCon itself. In fact, the situation involving Anita Sarkeesian attacking Sargon of Akkad from the stage, the lack of reaction and the ultimate apologetics from the owners of VidCon, that would be the Vlog brothers, Jake and Hank, or John and Hank Green, and the fact that it was discovered that Anita Sarkeesian's merchandise store is run through their business, so they have a financial tie to one another, makes sense as to why they defended her. So when I come across this story here, Viacom looking to purchase VidCon, oh yeah, I'm actually all for this. They'll run it into the ground and they'll destroy it, which basically just means that the retreat that we're going to be going on again this year, it just becomes an annual thing. But I mean, the idea of VidCon's a lot of fun to go meet other people, but get the Hank people out, get the Greens. There we go. That's their name. Get the Greens out, okay? Because no. Take the money and run, okay? All right. Like, John has got his books. He's made a lot of money. What has Hank done? Really? What has Hank done? Nothing. Take the money and run. Anyway, Viacom is close to acquiring VidCon. Variety has learned from a number of individuals with knowledge of the transaction. VidCon is a popular online video conference annually held in Southern California since 2010. VidCon will be an independent division of Viacom and will keep its offices. Its leadership team will remain intact. Well, I mean, its leadership team may not be the Greens, but that being said, Viacom may be a bit more susceptible to dealing with panelists who speak down to the guests. Oh yeah, Anita Sarkeesian, I'm looking at you, right? I'm looking at you. I have a feeling that it could happen. Now, VidCon likely fits in the Viacom's efforts to connect with the youth audiences, who gravitate more and more to digital platforms than the linear cable channels that are the conglomerate's core assets. Just last month, Viacom also acquired Who Say, an influencer marketing firm that specializes in targeting young audiences online with branded content. And trust me, I get emails from like sponsors in this regard quite frequently, and a lot of them aren't really in line with what I do, so I don't, work out deals with them. But yeah, you can see what's going on here. Branded content is a big thing, especially when it comes to influencers. And influencers that aren't like your top tier upper echelon version of influencers will pretty much do it for like dirt cheap. So they want to get in on the ground floor with these people. So having VidCon is actually a pretty solid way to approach the situation from a business perspective. Now, Viacom CEO Bob Bakish has been aggressive about remaking Viacom as a company looks to getting back on its feet. He's also begun to engage CBS Corp in a potential merger at the behest of National Amusements, which owns controlling interests in both conglomerates. So putting CBS and Viacom together probably be for the best, to be fair. Often compared to Comic-Con, I'm sorry, I've gone to Comic-Con 18 times since 2000. That's every year since 2000. VidCon, while fun, not Comic-Con. Not Comic-Con. That is, who wrote this article? You suck. VidCon is a mix of young YouTuber fans who get the chance to mingle with their favorite stars, most of whom are barely older than them. That's actually a fallacy. No, I'm not even really making that up. The way that VidCon operates, at least they did in 2017, was they sold you 3 tiers of badges. You had your standard badge, which I don't know what the hell it's called. You got your creator badge and your industry badge. Now, the creator badge allows you to go upstairs to the mid-level, which is where all the creators are supposed to be hanging out and hobnobbing there amongst each other. What we discovered this year is that what you had were parents paying the $200 for their children to go and get creator badges just so they could possibly go to the second floor and maybe run into one of their favorite creators. But if they wanted to, let's say, meet Logan Paul or Jake Paul or any other pendejo part of Team 10, those idiots are all up on the industry level and are told, and I mean this, they are told to not walk around the floor. They are told to not go and wander around. And the reason for this, well, as actually best exemplified by Logan Paul himself, is that they would then cause a stir because these girls act like these YouTubers are literally the Beatles, and they chase them running and screaming into a fountain. This is we were all sitting out there last year when this whole thing went down. So yeah, it's not like they get the chance to really meet these people. They're actually like VidCon prohibits them from going on the floor. One of the only ones that did was Boogie, and Boogie, being 4 million subscribers, has a large fan base, and he'll talk with you, but no one's going to be chasing him down like Logan Paul, and even he'll be the first to admit that. Same with, I'm just saying, there's this article is really trying to church it up a bit. I know it's variety, but come on, man, reality here. Anyway, while YouTube typically has a dormant presence at the event, other digital giants who court the influencer crowd have become more active in recent years, including Facebook, Instagram, and Musical.ly. Yes, Musical.ly, an app where you basically sing carpool karaoke and get famous. It is one of those things that I look at and I'm all like, why? VidCon has also become an increasingly popular destination for media companies looking to promote upcoming movies and TV shows to the Generation Z crowd, who tend to favor digital stars. Viacom has become a past participant with Nickelodeon, among other brands, with a sizable presence on the show floor. NBC Universal, Scripps, and Fox have also made their presence known at the Anaheim-based event. I didn't see really any of that. The only booth I remember from VidCon, there's 2 booths. One of them was like this white, it was like a clear walled room, like see-through walls, and people could write messages on there. And Dave Cullen got up there and wrote "Free Kekistan," up there and whatnot. And then also Taco Bell had a booth, and they were giving out like some sugary drinks and stuff. That was about it. Oh no, there was like a little bar for parents too. That part I understood. But no, there's Fox, Paramount. I don't remember them having spaces there. The floor sucked. That's why people ask me, like YouTubers now ask me, oh, should I go to VidCon? Should I go to VidCon? I'm like, yeah, fly on out, hang out with us for a week. Should I get passes to go to VidCon? I'm all like, no. Unless you're going to spend the money for the creator or the industry pass to go up and learn everything about YouTube, the educational side of it, don't even bother. Just don't even bother. This year's VidCon is scheduled to begin June 20th. International editions of the event are also in operation. A nod to the robust overseas marketplace for digital influencers. The 2017 flagship attracted more than 30,000 attendees, which is true. There's a lot of people that were there. And here's the thing. If I had a lot of fun at VidCon, and I'd like to travel to other VidCons as well, to go to other parts of the country or even the world. So if they announce like VidCon New York, I would go to that because there's a lot of East Coast YouTubers that I'd like to meet that probably won't be able to make it out to Anaheim, who would be able to make it to New York. Or VidCon London. I think there's VidCon Sydney or something, like, Bering and Sugar Tits live down there, as well as a bunch of other Australian YouTubers I'd like to meet. So for me, VidCon ultimately boils down to kind of like a location and ultimately an excuse to go out and meet people that I know. And also engage with fans, because I actually have a fair amount of fans in Australia, so surprisingly there. But at the same time, Viacom purchasing VidCon is only being done for a marketing tactic in order to reach out to these people. Even though the leadership would stay intact and they would try to think that this is going to be the best way to maintain that level of success or that growth or whatever, it's going to go corporate. And as we've learned, pretty much everything that goes corporate ultimately dies, because corporate will strangle the life out of it. So if VidCon sells to Viacom, then that would be basically the death nail in VidCon's coffin. So ultimately enjoy it while you can. And stay tuned to some point in time in the future when a lot of us who want to do our own thing end up holding our own conference that's just for basically hanging out with fans and people. And that's it. But hopefully that will be happening sometime soon. I'm just saying there is a lot of VidCon going to fucking Anaheim is dumb. I mean VidCon selling to Viacom is dumb. So but no, VidCon New York, I'd go. Oh, hands down, heartbeat, I'd go. So all right. Okay. Let's 110 likes. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. So let's get my headphones here. Actually, I want to test one thing real quick. We'll see if this will work, because I want to see if this will plugging it into this because I want to talk to people that are in the Discord chat. If you guys want to jump on in, there are people in there. We'll go through it. So, okay, that's that. That's good. And I think, okay, yeah, I think I got to test one thing. I'm going to have to play a sound or something. Not my intention. Okay, I hear myself. Let me just double check this here. Come on. Sorry, technical issues because I clearly know what's going on. Not. I think. Right. Okay, yeah, I think I got to test one thing. Okay, so that's so I can. Okay, so like this isn't even gonna work then. Plugging my headphones into this isn't gonna pump through anything other than me hearing how I sound. All right, good to know. Come on. Oh shit. Oh, sorry, technical issues because I clearly know what's going on. Okay. Clearly. All right, Jack, you did say here, which industry is more SJW toxic in my view, film, media journalism, or indie games? Well, the indie games and media journalism are very similar, but in terms of like connection to one another, I would argue that clearly the other one are like way, probably the media is way more. If it's from San Francisco, it's pretty bad. Okay, let's all right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in the who are in the chat that want to come on in. I'm going to bring them in one at a time. And if you guys want to jump on in to chit chat about whatever for a couple minutes on Discord, or talk about what's on your mind, come on in. Link below in the video description. So, oh wait, I need to actually make sure I'm in a room. There we go. Okay, there we go. Let's bring him in. Hey, what's up, RJ?
Hey, Matt. How's it going?
It's going okay, man. It's going okay, man. Can you, yeah, you're going to turn off your...
Just my Xbox One. I muted it, so...
Okay, are you watching on an Xbox One?
Yeah, I kind of use my consoles as all-in-one media machines half the time.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, I'm still getting some feedback on your end.
Yeah, that's just because I'm on my laptop via Linux, man. I think.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm making sure I don't have anything up on my end too, but yeah, can you turn that down at all? Because it is kind of throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, my laptop's been driving me nuts for a little while.
Yeah, if you just turn it down or something, where you can still hear me, but I think there's a lot of feedback on that one.
I turned down the volume on my headset since it's external.
Okay. Well, it's a little bit less. Okay. Let's see how that.
How's it?
It's a little bit. I think it's manageable. Although you may want to try to turn it down a little bit lower, but it's all
right for now.
Okay. Well, yeah, because there's we'll jump through this thing real quick. So what's on your mind, man?
Well, my mind is oh man, pretty much my mind right now is recently at the North American Auto Show, Ford revealed the new Ranger, but I don't know what the Bronco is going to look like. That's the thing. I don't know what they're going to use for a design case. Whether they're going to use the 2004 concept or who knows.
I don't know. I drive a 2013 Kia Soul, so I haven't driven a Ford in a long time.
Oh, I actually did see on the Australian version of Top Gear, if you reverse the R in the Soul's trim level, guess what it spells out to?
What's that?
Arsel.
Oh,
I had to bring that.
I get that.
The other thing on my mind, is pretty much, you remember the whole Toon Critic situation?
I am tangentially aware of that whole situation.
Well, here's more. Pretty much, I did know Zach quite a bit. This is something that he hid from everyone, whether it was the Thomas and Friends community or even the Brony community. And
okay, so real quick, for people who don't know who you're talking about, you're referring to Toon Critic Y2K, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and he's been accused of basically, he's a brony who's been accused of pedophilia. Is that correct?
Yes, of erotic role plays with minors. Pretty much, one was as young as 14, but that started when she was right around 12. Yeah, it sounds pretty bad, doesn't it?
No, that is pretty bad. Erotic roleplay with minors is definitely nothing good. Now, has there been an update on the situation? Has he been, I guess, reported to the police? Has there been any action there?
Well, there's pretty much, he's pretty much, to get away from the situation, he's pretty much nuked everything except his Instagram and his Patreon, which he's hid his YouTube channel, which you can do.
Yeah.
And pretty much he's trying to hide around and trying to gain everyone's trust, even though he did an absolute shit thing. And authorities have been called by his pretty much the authorities were called by his friends, former close friends, who are now even reported him to the FBI.
Okay, so at this point now, it's literally just a waiting game.
Yeah. And pretty much the shocking thing is, he's only a few months older than me.
Well, that doesn't really ever change anything. There are people out there that do it at any age, you know? So, I mean, I get what you're saying, but ultimately you can't lock it down to a specific age. You don't hit peak pedophile at like the age, I don't know how old you are, like early 20s?
I'm 25.
Okay, mid 20s.
I'm in my... Yeah, I'm going to be turning 26 in May.
Although I guess if somebody was asking like Omni Destiny about it, he might have an ethical child porn age. But that being said, ultimately, yeah, it's a horrible situation. I'm glad the FBI is involved, and I hope that they handle it pretty quick because these kind of guys, they need to be off the street. They do.
Pretty much, I have similar opinions to Philip DeFranco about pedophiles. They don't deserve to breathe my air if they're doing this kind of shit.
No, I completely agree. I agree. I think. Yeah, it's not. The thing is, you run the risk of having the conversation about what is moral versus what is legal, or what should be. You'd like to think that the two run hand in hand, but there are people out there that want to just throw these dudes off rooftops. And you look at someone like Larry Nassar and his aggressive pelvic examinations, where he got 145 years in prison for it. That's the kind of guy that you really just want to, see kind of tossed off a roof, or you wouldn't care if he was. It's a hard thing to discuss because it's like, as an objective based person, I like to think that the law will do its thing and that the law will be able to maintain it. But at the same time, people who hurt kids, there's nothing, there's nothing good that you can even do to fix it. It's just, yeah.
And pretty much now, even he got the pretty much attention of Kiwi Farms.
Well, it's not hard to get the attention of Kiwi Farms, to be honest with you. I think I'm talked about on Kiwi Farms too, so.
And pretty much I don't condone doxing of anyone, whether you like them, dislike them. It's just, that's another can of worms that can be dealt with. Because if you have that information, share it with the authorities. For Pete's sake.
Yeah, no, I agree. You go to the authorities, and that's the best way to go about it. There are people out there that don't want to do that ever because
They're afraid.
yeah, well, they also just want to cause chaos and everything else. Or yeah, some people are maybe afraid, or some people don't care, or maybe they're holding it until they can use it. Who knows? People out there have many different motivations for whatever. But that's no. Thanks for coming on in. I'm just gonna move you down to the AFK so I can bring in somebody else. So we got a lot of people lined up.
All right.
But thanks RJ,
adding
and
me.
we'll definitely talk soon. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna bring in let's see, this random person here. All right, Crummy Lion, how are you, buddy? Give him a second to get back to turn off his mic. We'll see. And we'll give him a second here if he doesn't pop up. He says he's back in the chat. That's why I grabbed him. All right, maybe not. That's the problem with Discord is you gotta. Yep. Okay. I'm just gonna drop a Crummy Lion and I'll grab Curtis. I'll grab Curtis. So hey, what's up, man?
Hey, not much, man. How's it going?
It's going okay. It's going okay. Really want to get into this. Talking to people. I like talking to people and want to make sure that we can keep an open dialogue on the thing. I know you and I have disagreed a little bit in the Discord over politics and everything else, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, I do it at work all the time. The important part is that you can walk away from the disagreement and still respect the other person, because we all have a different point of view. No, this is completely unrelated to anything about politics. Two things. One, thanks for turning me on to Cloverfield.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
I could not make it through the first movie because I do not like the whole shaky cam stuff, but literally just binge watched 1 and 2 yesterday and then managed to get a hold of Paradox today. And I was just sitting there like, now this is freaking hardcore science fiction. This is what I liked.
Yeah, I really liked the first movie a lot. I saw it like 3 times in an actual theater, and the rest of the time I saw it, which is like probably another 15-20 times at my drive-in. So I saw the movie a lot when it came out. And I really liked the world that they built and the game that they built. 10 Cloverfield Lane I liked because I felt it continued it, but I kept hoping that it was going to be part of the same overall universe, like it was just going to be 8 years later. But Paradox was, I thought Paradox had, I thought it was good. I don't get the hatred for it. It has some issues, but ultimately I enjoyed myself the entire time.
The only thing I can think about the hatred for Paradox is that, in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, there is a hatred for hard science fiction, for science fiction that has a basis in science. And really, there was a couple of loops I wasn't expecting. I honestly thought the 3D printed gun was absolutely epic, because it was like, we've been talking about running a 3D printer up to the space station and using it to print out a gun. I remember hearing about that somewhere.
Well, did you catch the design of the gun? Did you recognize the design?
I didn't recognize the design. It looked a lot like the one that was put out by Defense Distributed.
Yeah, it's based on that design from what I could tell. Because as soon as they started printing the gun, I'm all like, oh, I recognize that. I recognize that gun.
Exactly, the slanted back, and the only difference was the magazine. The magazine fed.
Yeah. Although we should probably keep spoilers showing to people here who haven't seen it yet. So I totally want to make sure everyone here, the Cloverfield Paradox on Netflix dropped last night after the Super Bowl. It was very much a fun movie. I had a lot of fun with it. They're good movies. I don't know what's going to happen with the fourth one. This Cloverfield, or what do they call it? The Overlords is a current rumored title, but I'm also waiting for the deal of this fucking. I want to know the deals of the Netflix Paramount deal. I want to know what the details of that. I want to know what's going on. And so far today, no one talked about it. So I'm waiting for all that to come out, so then we have a solid understanding of where things are going to go and whether we should, in fact, get our hopes up for more Cloverfield films.
Exactly. The other thing I wanted to say is about the whole Doritos segments you did.
Yeah.
Play the first one like almost all the way through. Run like a vinyl record scratch, and then overlay the second one.
Just make it like a freaking 18-minute long video.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because I mean it's Doritos. It's talking about women. It'll get the views.
I felt I had some good masturbation jokes in there.
Dude,
I thought it was pretty
epic
funny.
jokes. Epic jokes.
You
That's
know.
why I was in there like, yeah, women, women don't want to be in public sucking on their fingers. It's too phallic. It's like, come on.
But they'll suck it elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I've had female managers who, when we were all out smoking, they'd sit there and spit, and then they'd make spit and swallow jokes, and I'm just sitting there like, your management don't do that.
Yeah, my former boss carried around photographs of hookers he had sex with in Longapo, Thailand, Christmas Day, 1976. Not even kidding. Wow. It was his most prized possession. It's in his wallet right now, guaranteed. And
the good news is, if it was 76, it was before there were a lot of ladyboys.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure he might have actually done that too. He's a weird guy, but no. Ultimately, it's a photo of him, his brother, and like these 3 hookers, and that's like his most prized possession. So like when he dies, I'm pretty sure like, I'm gonna hit up his daughter and be like, hey, listen, you need to get that photo, and you need to bury it with him, like, because I like my boss quite a bit. And so I thought that was pretty epic that he keeps it around with him. Plus, working for the guy as long as I did, I heard every single one of his hooker stories, all of his hooker stories.
How many times did you hear all of them, and did they change?
Oh, a lot. No, they never changed. The details stayed the same. So he was very consistent in his details, but I would hear about them a lot. We'd be talking about something. And he's like, that reminds me of the time I was in Longapo. Like, God damn it, Brian. God damn it. And all of us, everyone who worked there knew, even the female employees who didn't necessarily want to know about it, but at the same time, we're still really intrigued.
Yeah, that's how it really goes with those foreign stories. It's we got a couple of guys where I work that routinely take trips out that way, and the stories that they come back with are generally the type that should not be shared around the workplace.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's one of the things I love about being a YouTuber is I have the opportunity to very much just talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about, so that's nice. But if I ever, like go into like public office or something big happens, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have like tons of tweets and videos, clipped out of context. And they're going to be like, well, remember the time you said this? Like, oh, fuck me. All right.
You mean like the crying video where it was like, dude.
Hey, I'm not ashamed of that video.
No,
I'm not ashamed of that video at all.
The original video where you were crying, that was all there because it was all real. It was the one that one guy put up where he was talking about the paternity test. I was like, dude, don't go there. Don't ever go there with anybody. That's just wrong.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, that's why I said it was a low blow. I'm like, it's a low blow. Because if you look at my daughter and you look at me, you can see that we look the same.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, but some people will do anything for views. So that's really what it breaks down to.
No, there are people out there. The thing is, when you don't do YouTube for a long time without making, I guess you could say, I don't want to say enemies, but people who like to give you shit. It's kind of the name of the game because drama generally tends to breed views, and that ends up being a big part of it. So there's definitely that. But I should probably jump in. We still got a bunch more people to come on in. But we'll do this again soon. Yeah, thank you very much, Curtis. I'm just going to drop you down to the AFK. All right. And Crummy Line is back. We're bringing Crummy Line. Crummy Line, what's up, man?
Oh, hey, Matt.
You here this time? You are here this time. That's good.
Yeah, I'm here this time.
You were embarrassing me by not being there when I pulled you in. You said you were back, Crummy Line. I believed in you.
So sorry, man.
It's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good. So what's on your mind? What you want to talk about for a few minutes?
Like I'll be honest, I'm a bit embarrassed because I've been having a lot of things on the back burner that I want to go bring up, like something from like almost a year ago. Like, you remember that stupid little doodle of the Free Bug Fear thing I did?
I'd have to see it again to, I'm pretty sure, like, I'd have to see it again, to be honest with you. So I do apologize for that.
I'm gonna have to go do a little searching for that. But I remember that you PM'd me over this. And I was like, really shocked in a good way.
All right, let me take a look. Did you PM me on Discord?
Like you PM'd me.
On Discord?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm looking at it right now, but I don't remember what the image it is. Let me take a look in my file for where I keep all that stuff. Can you describe it? Because I feel horrible.
Like it was like $3 in a theater similar to...
Right. Yeah. Where the fuck is that? Where the fuck is that goddamn... Oh, I fucking love that thing. Okay. It's, you know what? I readjusted some shit on my computer. I have to fucking find it. But what he's talking about is he drew this like PNG, essentially. And it's like $3, like 3 deer, like elk, sitting in a theater, very similar to the design of Mystery Science Theater 3000. And they're pointing at a screen, like they're laughing, right? Or something like that, or they're just watching it. And so it's just like it's such an awesome meta joke just for the whole idea behind it. I fucking died laughing. I really thank you. No, seriously, thank you. That was so fucking cool. No problem. I need to talk to my my artists about well, I'm not my artist. That sounds like people who are helping me design some stuff for t-shirts. Like I could make that a t-shirt, and I would definitely make that a t-shirt. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah. Like I also remember, like, I'll be honest, I have a really nasty problem with procrastination, and like when you PM me like something about like a design or something, I was like you already see like the PM where you asked me like hang on, let me go poke. Like you say that you like to go use it for like a banner or something.
Yeah, like I need to I'm working with artists right now actually on a logo for $3 Theater. And when I said a banner, I was more or less referring to like the YouTube channel. Having a banner on there sort of thing. Because I have a generic Hollywood banner. I need to do something more with it to make it look more like I'm a YouTube professional, you know. And so ultimately there's a lot of that, but no, I gotta find it. I gotta fucking find it. It's do you have that? Can you send that to me again?
Like the tweet that you did?
Yeah, if you got the tweet with it on there, I could bring it up on the screen and show people real quick. I don't remember which file folder it's in, and I'm trying.
Check the general section of the Discord. Like I already posted the link.
Okay, right. Oh, yeah, and they're watching they're watching that. Okay, so let me bring this up here. All right, for those of you guys who want to see this image here, let me just bring up Crummy Lion's drawing. It's fucking awesome. So this is an image of $3 watching The Wicker Man, and I think it's a great image. I really think it's awesome. I need to have it. I definitely need to have that done up on a shirt. I'm making sure I'm saving that again this time to the folder. I'll know where it's at. So there we go on that one. But yeah, it's it's freaking great. I love it. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry for if I was rambling on for a bit.
No. It's okay. It's okay. We're all trying to figure out this whole, chit chat people and whatnot. So, I'm gonna drop you down to the AFK just so I can bring someone else in. And I really appreciate you coming on. I'll definitely have to do it again.
Yeah.
Thanks
Yeah.
a lot, man. All right. So let's see here. Connor is available. Hey, Connor, you there?
Hi.
Hey, what's up, man? I know. I pull you in all random and quick, so you don't know, like a predator that way.
Okay, there. Now I can properly hear you. Sorry, I had.
No. Thank you very much. So what's on your mind? What you want to talk about?
So there's this, I guess, meme going around that's comparing the character Black Panther. All right. I want to know what's your opinions on that viewpoint.
Oh, right. So the character, it's a Black Panther meme. It's interesting. Let me see if I can find it, and I'll bring it up on I know the one you're talking about. I've seen it around. Yeah. All right, let me see here. Okay, so I'll bring it up on the stream for people to check out. And what this essentially says, if I can get it to load. Come on, computer. Do your job, you bastard. It's not... All right, just try that one more time. I think it's trying to, like, locate the... There we go. Okay. So this image right here is... All right, let me zoom in. Okay. So it is Black Panther wearing a Make Wakanda Great Again hat, saying anti-immigration, isolationist, pro-wall, strict trade restrictions, anti-diversity, ethno-nationalist, anti-refugee, anti-democracy. And that is what the alt-right are trying to say right now as a way to essentially combat, this movie a little bit and talk about that, like, why is it okay if they do it, sort of thing. To which case, I think you'll agree with me on this one that it's a fictional fucking country. It doesn't exist.
Right? Though if it is, yeah, I mean it is fictional, but of course I'm noticing that I'm not fully familiar with Black Panther lore, but from what I've researched via Googling Wikipedia, or to how the government operates than how the alt-right is trying to generalize it.
Well, obviously the meme itself is funny, truly. The meme itself is very clever in what they're trying to do with it. And I think one of the great things that the 2016 presidential election taught us is that meme warfare is a real thing, and is a lot of fun. But ultimately, this whole thing here, so anti-immigration, I mean, Wakanda has technically hidden itself, so you could say, yeah, they're anti-immigration. But at the same time, they allow Bucky Barnes to go and hang out there until they're able to figure out the whole situation with him at the end of Captain America: Civil War. So
that would also destroy the whole anti-refugee.
That would, yeah, the anti-refugee and technically not anti-democracy. Even though they are, I mean, maybe I don't know if it's necessarily anti-democracy. They did have a king. But at the same time, it does feel like they want to work with other nations and be part maybe of a democratic process on a larger scale. So one could argue that maybe that doesn't fly as well. Ethno-nationalist, perhaps.
Not really. I know they're against have a pretty we don't like outsiders, but it's more of a whole. To be on a whole ethical reason.
I need you to hold on for 1 second. I have to go get my daughter because she is waking my girlfriend up. So give me 1 second and just talk to the chat because they can hear you. So now for the next minute or so, you get to run the show. So don't fuck up.
Well, okay, I have no idea what to do because I do not have Matt's charisma here. Guess I can. Actually, no. Due to time, to the how fast this conversation is going, and oh no, I did remember about the stream delay. Fix this.
Okay, where's it at?
Okay, Matt, I hope you enjoy having 1 minute of awkward.
No, I just got the baby, so she's
And you're not married.
No, I'm not married. Apparently that's the thing. But no, she's fussy. I'm gonna have to probably wrap this whole stream up here in a couple minutes so I can go feed her and take care of her and everything. So let me just I think it's a funny image. I appreciate you definitely sharing it with me. I'm gonna try to get through a couple more the next couple minutes and then probably wrap it up.
One last thing.
Oh, yeah, sure.
In the DMs of Discord, I shared you of what is like a 5 feminist type tests. Did you ever take it?
Let me take a look here. I get a lot of DMs, so I sometimes don't get to them all. Okay. Oh, no, I don't think I ever did take this one, but I'll bring it up and I'll save it for tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, just do it for like shits and giggles.
Okay, no, I'll definitely do that.
Okay,
all right,
you
well,
go on with whoever.
thanks a lot, Connor. Have yourself a good night, man. All right, let me just let's see. David Crimson want to come in? Hey, what's up, David? Are you there?
Oh shit! Oh hey, stream delay. Oh god.
Yeah, it happens. Sorry, I had to go get my daughter, so she's currently in here with me. I'm just trying to get through the last couple people here pretty quick, and then wrap everything up for tonight. So, what's on your mind, man? How are you?
But just bored and lonely. Just nothing. Just watching a show. I just want to say I'm sorry about the Doritos thing. I kind of want to be real too.
No, it's totally fine, man. It's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You know what? These things happen. Like, you'd be amazed at how many stories I've done where it's like there are like changes that like happen like an hour after I post it, you know? And it's not like an article where I can go in and like alter the article and have it be reflective of where things are. So it's like if I'm not there to catch it, then I miss it, or if I don't know about it, then I can't update it. And sometimes people don't tell me, or I just, I'm on to the next thing. So, you know what? I mean, the video is, you know, it is what it is. And I'll just do the updated one. I'd rather be factual than be funny.
But yeah, that's why you do it live. No, I'm just kidding. You can do whatever you want. I guess I'm done here. I just want to say good luck.
No, thank you very much. No, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm going to do more of these, you know, again, I was expecting her to be asleep for about another hour. She decided to have other plans, which is what happens when you have a child. But, yeah, thanks a lot, man. We'll definitely do this again soon. And I really appreciate you coming in. Thank you. All right. So let's bring in Spirit Man Studios. Hey, what's going on, Spirit Man?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
It's going okay. I keep
right.
I see you say that you popped in some chats every once in a while, so just wanted to check in with you, see what's on your mind, what you want to talk about tonight.
And there's not a lot really too much going on. University of Oregon's just kind of all over the place. Trying to graduate in spring with a cinema studies degree and trying to get into the film industry that way.
Oh, good, man. Yeah, I did mine in video production, so I definitely feel you. What is it you want to do in the film industry?
Writing and directing, but I could be on a road for producing. But I've just been more often than not trying to get into a jacks of all trades sort of thing, learning everything bits and pieces. Like currently, I'm learning Avid software, and that's been a total bitch to try to figure out. But
I can't believe Avid is still a thing. I mean, I went to film school in 2005, and you know, Avid was was definitely something that was there, but only in my first semester. After that, everyone had moved on to like Final Cut and Adobe Premiere Pro 3, you know, and then after Final Cut X, people just kind of started, you know, I didn't think Avid was even still being used.
I mean, I don't hear about it too often than not, but it's currently on its 8th version. Like 8.6 is the current version we're learning. But I mostly use Adobe for my YouTube channel. Whenever I do movie reviews or countdown lists or flashback episodes, I just use Adobe Premiere always.
Yeah, I actually use Camtasia, which is from TechSmith. It's not as like in depth as Adobe Premiere. I like it because of the simplicity of what I do. It allows me to keep up with the demand, so to speak.
Yeah, like currently right now, I've had multiple different mindsets going into my final couple terms. Is that there's like 3 of me all going at once.
I understand.
Me.
I get you,
And
man.
then-
I get you.
Currently, there's like a critic me who wants to critique movies all the time because I run a movie review channel. I want to take myself seriously as a filmmaker, so I'm just thinking like, hey, maybe I could make this into a script.
Yeah.
Make it be like 3 of me arguing with each other.
Well, do it. I mean, do it. Just the key is you always have to make short films and web series or projects, and then go from there. I mean, I don't know if you've seen my YouTube channel, Disciple 87, DECP or DECIPLE 87. It's got a bunch of my short films on there, and dumb shit I did like 10 years ago. If you want to see how bad how bad things are,
I've seen bad student films.
Yeah, you haven't seen my bad student films where I played Dracula who was running from INS, and Frankenstein had become Frankenstein. He became a Jewish entertainment lawyer, or no, a Jewish actor, and then Wolfman was basically just a pizza delivery boy. It's horrible. I'm in whiteface. It's terrible. It's bad. We shot this in 2005. It's on the channel. It's called the Association of Silver Screamers, or the ASS. I'm not even kidding you. It was a horrible project I made. I wrote it. I directed it. I starred in it. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Currently, I'm working on 2 different projects. Actually, 3. One's for a review of Blast from the Past. You remember that movie?
Oh yeah, Alicia Silverstone, Brendan Fraser, man. I like.
Yeah, I was rewatching it the other day, and it's just so damn corny, like everything about it. But at the same time, you're just enthralled with Brendan Fraser's like cookie acting and everything about that. It's like, yeah, you're kind of having a good time, but you know, it's just kind of.
Yeah, no, oh yeah, it's one of those movies that was meant to showcase, you know, Alicia Silverstone in a romantic comedy and Brendan Fraser trying to, you know, do something a bit more wholesome, not as stupid as as Encino Man, and this is also before The Mummy, I believe, right? No, it came out after The Mummy. I want to say what, 01, 02?
99.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay, so it came out the same year as The Mummy. Okay.
The year. Okay, never mind. I was thinking of the wrong actor. I was thinking of Nathan Fillion because he has a cameo in that film too. Same time, I'm also working on a full 2-hour analysis of Logan, and I've been having a hell of a time trying to get the video file off of my discs.
Why? You know, I'm not trying to advocate for piracy, but if you own it, technically it's not stealing.
It's just I've been trying to get the file off the disc. That's been my problem. I've used various different media rippers or anything, and so far it's not working. I still have currently an MKV file. Just can't get it converted all the way.
Do you use Handbrake?
Yeah, I've been using Handbrake, but it hasn't been working at all.
Odd recommendation.
Like
Here's a recommendation for you. Upload it to Vimeo, and then and download a program called 4K Downloader. It's free, and rip it from Vimeo, and it will be in an MP4 file.
I never thought of it that way. What's the program name?
It's called 4K Downloader.
4K Downloader. All right.
Or upload to YouTube. It will probably get smacked by content. You might be deleted or whatever. But if you can get it past, the whatever the fuck it's called, the bot, whatever, the content ID bot, you should be able to get it.
Yeah.
Or Ranting Monkey here says, if you can't rip, use OBS and record the parts you need, which is very true.
Okay, yeah, that could work too.
Very, very true. But, okay, I think I'm going to probably just end it with you because I've got to get her fed and changed and she smells. So I'm going to wrap it up and everything. So I appreciate you coming in. To everyone else who's waiting in the chat, we'll do this again. Maybe not tomorrow, but probably once before the end of the week, and get more people into chat and stuff. maybe do more of a longer form of that. I did 6 videos technically, and then this, so my voice is kind of done. Yeah, so let's see here. All right, well, thanks a lot, man. I will talk to you later, and good luck with everything. And for everyone else at home, I'll be back on tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be back on at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully sans crying baby. But in the meantime, Madison, you want to say hi? She's hungry. She got her shots today. She's sore. She's sore. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna hang out with my baby, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.